spend a full round.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. So let's do a session recap real quick. Last time in Curse of Strahd, our party chased down the remaining vampire spawn that had run out of the coffin maker's shop, and pretty brutally killed it. The coffin maker shop burned to the ground, and long story short, the party, Branwen and Irina more so than anyone else, turned the unconscious coffin maker Henrik over to the town's guard, and Branwen managed to talk the party's way out of any trouble with the law, becoming very friendly, even for a short time, with a guard named John. The group then proceeded to return the bones of St. Andrew to the same name church, and were thanked by Father Petrovich. Gaynor took some time to talk with the priest about religion and the Morning Lord, and got a bit of useful information about the land. Branwen listened in through the door, and nobody else really heard that conversation, building to some intrigue. The group eventually went to go rest at the Blue Water Inn once again, and a couple people had a rough night. There was some things and some stuff that happened during the night that was very sketchy. But the group woke the next morning, everybody's still alive, and they went downstairs for breakfast. Kelma decided to jump over the railing and land on a poor old lady on the first floor, almost killing her. But she was alive, still barely hanging on to life. They brought her back up, and she was doing okay. She's a little mad, but she's doing okay. And then the party did some interrogations on one half-elf bard, Rictavio. They got some information out of him. He's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, but nonetheless. The party then regrouped downstairs and decided to exit the inn with a potential plan to head westward to fulfill more of their tasks in Barovia. And we are going to start this session as you all have exited the Blue Water Inn, and you are right outside in the streets of Vallaki. So, as you all step out into the main thoroughfare of Vallaki once more from the Blue Water Inn, I believe. Oh, no. Where did the group go? Oh no, that's not good. It's already bad. There we go. Outside of the inn.
The entire map's shaking. Oh god.
It's a
It's an earthquake.
Tarrasque.
Oh no.
No. Outside of the inn, let's get some city music going. Good city music. Good old city music. All right. So, as you all walk outside of the inn and kind of take a breath of fresh air outside, kind of try and shake off the events of the evening prior, you all look to the west, where your inevitable travels will take you. Before you can set off and get moving, you hear a gruff voice call out to you all. You there. Hold a moment. As you all look behind you, down to one side of the street to the east, you see a large man, 3 towns guards standing behind him. The familiar man now at this point, the Burgermeister's lapdog, Isak, is walking in your direction, calling out to you.
Kamal turns back. Hey, finish that trouble over at that other inn?
That's one of the things I came to talk to you about. And now at this point, him and the guards have gotten pretty much up to your group as a whole.
Just kind
Are they
of.
all right?
They'll live.
Good.
He kind of looks down. kind of cracks his neck. Looks like he's very stiff, but you can hear the audible cracking as he bends his neck to one side and back to the other. Kind of looks down
I
at the group, and
wince.
he's the only person he's not towering over is probably Branwen, who's decently tall, and Trovik is taller than Izek, but Izek towers over the rest of you by about an inch to 4 inches, depending on the person. He just kind of looks down at you all and kind of back up to Trovik for a second. The investigations have been completed for the most part. If we could step off the main road, I'd like to talk to you all at least a little bit in private. The rest of the town doesn't need to hear this.
I agree. And Kelma starts looking around for like an alleyway.
We're just
And
outside the inn, right? We could just.
yeah, I mean, you're outside the inn. You could walk like around the inn if you wanted to, but yeah.
Like by the stables or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Let's
I
all
just
go
kind
into a
of
bar.
nudge my head back towards where the stables are and start walking.
So as you all walk and get over to the stables easily enough, the 3 guards follow Isak as he walks behind all of you. Once you get to a decently secluded place that you feel would be fine to talk to, he kind of chimes up once again. I figured since you were involved in just about everything that you all should get the report. The Burgermeister has sent me to inform you of our findings. And he kind of looks at you all once again. And he's just like, in regards to the sewers, the guard that was sent there found no trace of any creatures. They found a number of smashed piles of wood in the location that you described. Kind of looks around at you all.
Kelma kind of looks inquisitively like, no bodies, because we fought not just a vampire spawn. We did fight some cultists. So that
Can
means
I roll a religion check
What are your religion
see if-
checking?
to see if I know anything about about why the bodies would be gone? Because I believe vampires can turn to ash, but I don't know about anything else.
Cultists.
yeah, the
fair.
cultists.
Hmm.
Oh shit!
I'm
57
gonna say
viewers.
no. Oh wow.
What the?
Well,
Hello,
hi,
everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the world, y'all. Sorry, no, back off the point. I would say no
Okay.
on the religion check, just
That's fine.
because you know that there were 3 humans down there, and those bodies wouldn't just disappear.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Easy's gonna kind of look at you and just. They didn't report any bodies, but did look like the remnants of something had happened down there. Scorch marks on the wall. There were the broken up wooden boxes.
They couldn't have.
We
just
can't
gone
be
back out and
certain
left.
if what you were saying was true in that matter.
Okay. So what about the next? What else you got?
The guards that were sent to the El Dragon Tavern collected reports from the bar owner and the remaining patrons that were there. By their account, a blue tiefling man was trying to stabilize the patrons, and then a pale lady ended up assisting in rescuing those who were still breathing.
I smile.
The guards heeded your warning about not entering the basement, and the owner of the bar confirmed that the dead were put in the basement for fear of unholy resurrection. As such, they did not investigate the cellar, so that claim cannot be corroborated.
Kelma speaks up. Like he goes, I thought you were gonna go. Hence why I told you to.
Unfortunately, I had other matters to attend to. Be that as it may, Your story checks out for the tavern. He kind of looks at you all again. As to the events that happened yesterday, I have been informed by my guard that you were all at the scene when the coffin maker's shop was burning. John and Amel took the coffin maker into custody after suspicion that the creature that killed Ivan was released by Henrik. I've been told by my soldiers that you all are responsible for destroying that abomination.
We would be, yes.
He kind of looks over his shoulder to one of the guards behind him, and then looks back at you all once again. As such, with the evidence provided, the number of corroborating stories that shed a positive light on you all, and the word of my guards, I see no reason to believe that you are the culprits in these scenarios. He kind of looks at you all with a wry smile on his face. He kind of looks over towards Irina's direction before glancing back at the rest of the party. Lord Valkalovich agrees with my assessment and has sent me here to inform you that you all are free to leave the city. However, he would ask that if you are able to return for the festival in 4 days' time, he would like to have you all as honorary guests and saviors of the town.
Well, we do have a relatively well, not relatively short. We have a long trip to make. Having some sort of transportation would help. To get us back
Horses.
sooner.
You could use horses.
And wagons. Or
Let's not push our luck, mate.
I
look
would be very helpful.
uncomfortable. I look very uncomfortable.
Kamo's just slowly kind of giggling underneath his.
He's gonna look at you all and just kind of like cock his head. A bit of humor in this land is appreciated. There's a stables out to the western edge of town, by the west gate, the morning gate, as it were. He kind of looks back over his shoulder. John, go to the stables. Prepare this lot with some horses.
ooh, lover boy.
And John kind of just like peers out behind him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he kind of like turns and offs into the distance. Izek is just gonna come look back at you. He's like, I don't know about wagons to spare, and there's certainly no gold in doing a good deed for a town. Not being in the stocks like Henrik is plenty payment enough.
Aye.
Now, with that said, I need to go and figure out what I'm going to do with that fool of a coffin maker.
A quick note.
Kind of like stares at you.
Hit up an extra time for me, will you? Just
He kind of
smirk
chuckles and
turn away.
smirks as he kind of turns and walks off as well.
Before you go, sir, I believe your doll is done.
He looks back over his shoulder. He then turns his head away, and you can make a perception check, everybody in the group.
Oh shit!
Let's roll the night, guys.
Let's see how this night's gonna go.
This is gonna be a natural one.
What do we got?
I will.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah,
Okay.
Nope, yep, nope, that tracks.
23. 23 is like-
Trovik and Osgood, you happen to pick up on the fact that he says under his breath, that toy maker's gonna get one from me.
Oh no.
Oh no!
I look amused.
As he walks off, almost seeming to your knowledge, Gaynor, disregard your comment. Walking off into the distance, disappearing into the lifting fog that had taken over the morning in Valaki. What are you all doing?
Well, John's taking us to the stables, right?
John went ahead of you all to the stables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he ran off to prepare stuff so that it would be good by the time you get there.
Would I know where the stables are?
Yeah, I'd say easily enough. Past
Yeah,
the
like
church,
I've lived
past the orphanage, towards the western gate.
Yeah, pretty
Not
much.
A huge town as far as everything goes.
Eh.
But, yeah,
So
I'd say you
would
could
I
lead
be able to
people
do
there.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. I will do so.
Okay. So, as you all are walking through the town, once again, winding through the main street of Valaki, it's probably about, yourself. Probably takes about 20 or so minutes to pass the distance on the main road. It's not a lot of traffic on the main road today, but decently enough. And you all make it to a small, ramshackle little building that has a wooden fence behind it. And you see a number of horses kind of penned up inside the wooden fence. As you all approach and get closer, you recognize John is standing outside of, or the soldier, Branwen, you recognize it as John, is standing outside of the ramshackle building, just kind of standing guard and waiting for your arrival. He kind of notices you all as you're walking up the road and just kind of waves. And it's like, over here, over here.
Like excitingly?
Oh my god, he's a puppy.
Somewhat excitedly, yes.
Have I pleased you? Christ.
As he beckons you all over, walk up decently enough, and he's just like, he kind of looks at Bramwin, blushes a little. It's good to see you again. The horses are ready for you. I talked to the gentleman inside. We've commissioned them for you as for use of the town guard. He kind of looks over and just a bit cockily, almost if he's simping, but at the same time he's being kind of cocky. He's like, we have that kind of sway around here.
Wow. Influence.
But the horses are ready enough to go. They don't have much on them other than saddles, but shouldn't need a whole lot to get to where you're going, I'd assume.
Regardless, you did good, lad.
Indeed, thank you.
He just kind of smiles, nods. Right over this way. And he kind of like walks towards the gate and kind of prepares to open it as you all get there. There are 5 horses saddled and tied to the fence post itself. One of them is a much larger horse than the others. It's probably about 1/5 more times the size. Like it's a
Big draft horse.
It's basically a Clydesdale compared to a regular riding horse type thing.
I wonder who that's for.
Find a donkey.
I mean, they've got enough horses to be prepared for different sizes of riders. We'll just be polite and say that.
Yeah.
We give Trovik a donkey.
I know.
I feel bad for the donkey. And John just kind of like steps back and holds his hand out towards the horses. Just like, here we are, all prepared for you, just as easy constructed. And he shows you all the horses.
Yeah, I just, Kamal walks up, looks at one of the horses, and just goes, "Yeah, you look good." Grabs one of the horses. It starts walking off with the horses to the side, and just starts kind of like, like staring at his eyes, kind of brushing his mane and stuff like that. Looking like he's seen quite a few horses.
Yep, I would say.
Can I get like everybody around to give me like a perception check just to see if they catch this?
Oh.
Sure. Group
yeah.
perception check.
I definitely did not catch that.
Yeah. Cool.
Osgood is hella uncomfortable around these things. Like he's acting like he's never seen one of these before.
And Kelma, per track, does not care.
Yep. That's just minor details. Don't worry about it.
And Gaynor, just as Kelmon did, and grabs one of the leads and just starts walking with one of the horses.
I guess I follow their lead, but there's hesitance, right?
Okay, so everybody make me a animal handling check.
Oh god.
Oh no. Well, no, I have a +2, but still.
I have a +2 as well.
Boom.
Okay, that tracks.
4. Fuck. It was on a 20 and
Good
then
shit.
just tipped
Makes-
over.
You know what? It
Only
makes so
one
much
here
sense
has
that
a-
Gaynor and I have decent
Yeah.
rolls.
Yeah, of course it does. Okay.
I'm the one who lived in the middle of a town.
Screw you.
So Osgood, even not being familiar with the horses, following the lead of well enough of Gaynor and Branwen as they hop on. Trovik takes you a second, but you manage to get on this Clydesdale, and it doesn't really bother it too much. Kalma, it takes you a little bit longer to get friendly with this horse. It's not. You didn't pick the nicest of horses. It's a little bit arrogant. Kind of matches the tone of one Gaynor in the party, but this is the one you chose. And it takes you a while to like get mounted and get settled. And as you like get up on the saddle itself, the horse just kind of like juts off a little bit and starts riding with you on it, and then like abruptly comes to a stop and jostles you a little bit. But you manage to hang on.
Yeehaw.
I know.
So we're riding off now, right?
Yeah, you're all mounted on horses.
All right.
and
So
you're
question: Is
riding
John
towards
watching us
Washington.
right off? Is John
John
Can
is
I-
watching you.
No. Is John actively watching us right off?
Yes.
I cast prestidigitation, and I make little glowing flowers come off of Gwen.
Oh,
Oh no! Oh, God. This is
Okay.
it. Oh my god.
Do you look back to see his
Like-
reaction?
Not like vibrant enough to make it like really noticeable. Just like
Uh-huh.
shimmering
Yeah,
flowers.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
my goodness.
Does anybody look back at John?
Oh my goodness.
I want to look back at John.
Make a perception check.
Oh please, 13 is not bad.
It's not bad. As
Hmm.
his face has now gone to a full red blush, as he's just kind of like one hand up, like almost like waving you all away. And he
Does everyone notice this?
Gaynor was the only one who said he looked back.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
would
Anybody
look
else
back.
looks back.
We never return.
Yeah.
As you go right off into the distance, a very smitten John left in the stables.
Very spaghetti
Um,
western music playing in the background.
You all get up to. Sorry, I'll get here. So you all get up to the morning gate, the far gate, where 2 guards stand on the interior, and the portcullis gate is well drawn. They kind of look over at you all, see that you're riding horses from the specific stable, and kind of just begin to pull down on the chains in unison to raise the portcullis gate and allow you exit of the city itself. And as you continue to ride, you'll notice a bunch of smaller branching trails down to the south.
Mhm.
Like you're going west, but there are a number of smaller trails that go down to the south. I need everyone to make a history check for me. to see if you all remember this.
Oh yes,
Yes, Branwood does.
17.
this tracks. Do you know what these rolls track today?
Yeah, canon.
Bran, when you recall that there is a camp out to the southwest of town that a number of Vistana people have been rumored to stay at.
So, as we're kind of starting to ride off, I'm going to be looking at everyone.
And you do recall that there were also mention of elves there.
Yes. I'm going to look at everyone. So, what's our plan?
I'm going to speak telepathically to this horse until it understands me. Otherwise, I have no plan.
That's a plan, all right.
As discussed, we probably need to head west so we can see find the Elven camp.
Well, it's just one of these paths south of here.
Well, that's great. Hopefully, we can make it a quick stop because then we need to make our way to the Wizard of Wine so we can make it back in time for them not to run out.
Yes.
Are we going to do... And then I pause, and I sort of look back at Kelma and Gaynor, and I raise an eyebrow.
Kelma looks back and just like what?
I sort of cock my head towards the camp.
Okay, I'm not following. What?
We should probably get a bit off the path before we discuss that.
Okay.
Not once.
Let's get off the main road, a bit out of populace, and we can have a discussion.
Okay. So I'll say you will take the closer path that kind of branches down south, and you get away from the townhouses and the outer exterior residences on the outside of the palisade wall, and you come to the interior edge of a small bit of forest. The dirt road continues on through inside and into the forest, and you all are relatively outside of earshot of villagers and townsfolk.
So, you remember when I went to go see Rictavia about the dolls?
Yes.
Well, we had a bit more of an intimate conversation with him. It seems he's going by Rictavia, but his real name is Rudolph van Richten.
Rudolph van Richten. Do I know this name?
Make a history check for me, with advantage.
Sorry.
Wells.
I was just about to write notes.
He was ready to roll a 1 and a 3.
Check with advantage.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, she knows them all right.
Yeah.
My luck is turning.
Until we get into combat.
Yeah.
Bring on the
Yes,
natural
you've
ones.
heard this name. You've heard of this name from your personal past.
Oh.
Your heavy research into what you are and why you are the way you are led you among a number of interesting texts throughout the years, a number of interesting dialogues, and in the search of things related to vampires, you've heard tales of the legendary vampire hunter, Rudolph van Richten.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
He is well renowned in the Sword Coast in back-end rooms, fables, and myths as an extraordinary monster hunter who has many different feats of brilliance under his belt.
So you're just gonna see me grow sort of pale?
okay.
Paler.
That's a shock. I'm gonna take it. Does that name ring a bell, or?
How fucked are we?
He's a vampire hunter.
Ah.
Well, I mean,
fucked then.
I mean, that would track on him coming here of his own whim, rather than being sucked here like us.
Oh, he came here. Okay, so
I mean, like,
I need to not meet him again. That would be nice.
well, he's not really here for the vampires, it would seem, at this point. As he said, his son was killed by Vistani, and he's here to kill all Vistani. -1.
Oh,
Hmm.
why would he -1 from that if he has a vendetta against Vistani?
Well, he said there's one that he thinks is a good Vistani. Her name's Esmeralda. I can't say that. What was that again? Last name?
Davenir.
Davenir. Esmeralda Davenir. He said she's the good one. But he's very adamant that he needs to kill all of them. And seeing as he's a vampire hunter, it might behoove us to figure out what happened with his son, maybe, and get him on our side. Maybe stop him from killing all of Vistani and focus on Strahd.
I will say this: if he knows what I am, he will murder me.
I mean, you've met him. Would he
Yes,
not?
but he doesn't know what I am.
Are you sure about that?
I'm alive, aren't I?
Aye, but
But you're not.
monster hunters,
Mhm.
they don't kill everything in their path.
He's a
and you seem to go a
vampire
little quiet.
hunter. A
Aye.
vampire hunter.
But you aren't a vampire.
I'm a half vampire.
Exactly.
I am a vampire that can walk in the sun.
Precisely.
Revenge.
So I don't see the problem.
Kamal just says under his breath, revenge. Revenge and revenge clears all images. And then he looks directly at Branwen. He goes, "You are not his target."
Yet.
So
That day comes, you'll go down.
You will
But
kill him.
until then, we could direct this revenge in our benefit.
At the Vistani, who have done nothing but help us.
well, one group of Vistani has helped us. That's not to say they're all the same way. They
Well,
seem
this
pretty
And
broken out.
herein lies the crux of the issue. Are they good or are they bad? And how do we determine who is good and who is bad? Do we trust anybody?
No.
That'd be what I'd be inclined to agree as well.
We don't trust, but we use. They will use us. We will use them.
Precisely.
well, we have our opportunity to make our own minds because we're on our way to them. So
True. Just keep in
So
mind,
hope and pray.
he said they were a bad group of people, but that could just be his bias.
Anyone could be bad. The right move. Let's just make sure that we keep our eyes amongst us
Sorry.
and know that the only people that matter are the ones in this circle of horses right now.
We've made a circle? I imagine you guys are like all circled and he's just a line through the direct top of the fucking
He's the only one that does not like talking to everyone.
Yeah, just kind of sideways.
So,
can you say that name, his real name for me again, please, MTC? I was trying to write it.
Rudolph von Richten.
Von Richten.
Richtn.
Yeah, Richten.
Okay.
Jim isn't.
So,
Based around another-
as you all dive a little bit into this woods, it's very spaced out, very dirt pathy all the way down. And you arrive. Where did it go? What did it do? There we go. What do it do? The woods part to reveal an expansive clearing. A small grass-covered hill with low houses built into the sides. Fog in the distance obscures the details, but you can see that these buildings feature elegantly carved woodwork and have decorative lanterns kind of hanging off the edges of them. Atop the hill, you see a number of barrel-topped wagons and a large canopied tent. You see smoke coming out of some of the door frame or the chimney stacks of some of these houses that are built into the mountainside as you see this mud dirt road open up in front of you.
Reminds me of the Moorlands. Nods to himself on.
So
Are we like right in front of the town now, like the little thing, or?
You're coming out of this wood clearing. You see this entire hill with houses and things like that. Like you're right where the picture is, basically. As you all emerge into this open air clearing, you're immediately met with the smell of various drying herbs. What appears to smell like food cooking. Other general smells of merriment. Some heavy pipe tobacco smell. Some other smell of some type of burning plant that you can't quite place.
it's weed.
It may or may not be. I don't know who in the party smokes. But as you kind of just generally approach, you see these strange-looking houses embedded into the hillside itself. And like I said, a ring of barrel-topped wagons atop the hill.
Elma just wants to kind of give like a real quick scour around to see if anyone knows us walking up.
Make a perception check. You're not quite sure if anybody's noticed you per se. You are on this dirt road that looks like it has catered to many wagons going up and down it before, all the way to the top of the hill. As you all get a little bit closer, you see standing outside of the houses, there seems to be a cloaked figure standing with a staff in front of each house. The first two that are closest to you that you can see, there's a cloaked figure standing outside the front door, almost keeping watch. One of them kind of looks up as you all are riding in and just kind of gives a nod and then puts their head back down.
Doesn't say.
What are you doing?
I haven't been here before. I don't know how to help here.
I suppose we're here looking for the wounded elf, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking for a wounded elf.
I guess we should start at the top and work our way down.
That's plan at a rate.
Hey, have you seen a wounded elf?
Oh goodness!
Because we're gonna wound you. You don't
Wow.
answer.
I'm just mocking Kalma.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
and Kalmal says, I will see a wounded half elf in about 2 minutes.
There you go.
Oh, group dynamics. Okay, I'm gonna move y'all to this map just for exploratory purposes.
And by top, I meant like the big tent, right? Like,
All the way down to the bottom of this map is where y'all's tokens are starting. Just a heads up.
oh, Wicked is typing. Rolls out. Keep forgetting to change my icon. I can't see anything.
All the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's two separate parts of the same page, so
Yeah.
you're all just generally at the foot area of this hillside.
Right.
If you all would like, there's a dirt road that leads all the way up to the top where the wagons are.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. So,
Unless anyone stops us.
nobody stops you along the way. Scroll up, everybody, to the top side of the
Oh
map.
goodness.
Oh.
That's a lot of shadows.
Oh, oops.
Am I supposed to say something?
Scroll up.
Oh, I'm
See
scrolling.
if you can see something. Can you not see something? You can't see something because your token for some reason now doesn't have sight anymore, which is sad.
Oh,
Why you keep taking away my sight? See?
You became Lamb. What am I supposed to do?
Oh no.
I'm gonna be
back from the grave.
I apologize. I'll fix that right now. But yeah, so you come up across the side of this mountainous or this hillside thing. Boop, boop. There we go. Okay, now your character has sight forever.
Like
Good.
a little Celtic hill fort. It's nice.
And as you ride up the path itself, in general direction, you come up to the top. And where are we at? Here we go. Oh no. You see all of these barrel-topped wagons. You hear sound coming from inside some of them. It's somewhat festive. You can hear the sound of people gambling, sound of people jeering at each other and drinking from some of these wagons. And as you get to the top, you notice a large ring and a number of draft horses, seemingly the ones that pulled all these carriages into this, or pulled all these wagons into this formation. You notice the large tent in the center, and do I have this? Probably not. What are you doing as you pull up?
I suppose we should try
Let's
and
rub their
find
horses.
head honcho. Jesus Christ, rock the horses. What? Dig in the horses' pockets.
Yeah, big buck.
Rob the horses.
Let's smug them.
All right.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, Kelmo just starts riding ahead and is like, "Well, stop hesitating. Walk inside. What's the worst that can happen?
And
Birds.
so does-
Well, we could die.
We could always die. That's what this place is about."
Precisely.
I'll probably walk this way because the entrance is over this way.
Oh, can you see? Horses.
Yeah, I get
Oil cake, and this is a trap.
I'm going to move the horses a little bit so there's more moving room, because apparently...
So
Might just
many
attack
horses.
There's a lot
It's
of
a lot
horses.
Yeah.
Oh, where am I?
Helma's scaring all the horses because he can't handle them.
Where in the fuck am I?
Oh, so
right here.
I-
in there.
let me rephrase that. We got off our horses and started walking into camp.
Yeah.
Why
What's that?
the hell are we leaving our horses? Why
You
are
have
we
to say, look where we tied our horses.
We can tie him in one of the wagons.
We just
Sure.
start doing like
That
freaking,
sounds like a
swings
bad
or some
idea.
retarded.
Sure,
So you
big
wanna
wagon.
But we can't walk into the tent on our horses.
Yeah.
This
No.
is true. Still sounds like a bad
I
idea.
want to leave him towards the
Wait,
entrance.
aren't there's
Okay.
I'm assuming the horses that
thing
they've
are
got.
these horses that we're right next to are tied to something, are they not?
They are, in fact.
Yeah.
Well, then let's try to do that.
There you go. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
These dang
So
young
you all tie your horses to the post that these other horses are tied to. And now there are 4 smaller horses and a Clydesdale tied to these. For the sake of expediency, I'm going to say Irina's riding with Kelma. Because I forgot to give Irina a horse. So. She gets no
Arina
horse.
just jogs.
We just been dragging her behind us the entire time.
She's joining with me.
Okay.
Because I've just realised Kelma has a tail.
Yep.
Ah, true. I mean, anyway, we're gonna go away from that topic. Sure, Irina's riding with Brandon. We'll go with that.
She likes being on a horse. It's fine.
Okay. So, as you all get off your horses, you notice one of the wagons nearest you doesn't seem to have any sound coming from it. A wagon slightly to the north of your group seems to have people speaking in some language you're not quite familiar with. And you hear jeers and cheers and a little bit of anger and a little bit of laughter coming from that carriage.
So I don't know the language? I know a lot of languages.
Do you know Vistani?
No, that's true. Okay, fine.
Not a language. So, continuing on. So, you guys kind of walk around the big circle of horses towards the center of the entrance of the camp. Big tent, which is right here-ish. I will move group one at a time with people. Unless y'all are doing anything else.
Boop.
I kind of look at Branwen and I'm like, you should probably lead the conversation.
I would agree with that.
Kelma just kind of chuckles underneath his breath. He looks at Branwen. He goes, "Turn them all into that guy. Who gave us horse."
So,
Random
just
arm, I mutter under my breath.
so as you all approach the center entrance of the tent, you see a number of empty casks of wine. And as you get closer, you hear the loud crack of a whip, followed by the howls and screams of a young man.
Oh, fuck.
That's good.
Do you
I'm just
enter the
gonna-
camp?
I'm gonna clear my throat outside the tent. Like, try and get someone's attention.
As you clear your throat, nobody responds. You hear the whip come down and crack once again. You hear the howls of a young man once again, just screaming in pain.
I glance
You
at
hear the grunting of somebody who seems to be wielding the whip in a forceful fashion.
I glance at everyone behind me, kind of like, okay, this is not good.
Do we intervene?
Hello there.
Are you
Is
still
there-
outside the camp? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going in.
Um,
Trying my best to be polite before I barge in on something.
so you see a man kind of comes to the curtain and pulls it back, and looks at you all and say, who are you? What do you want?
Hi. I'm looking for someone, my friends and I. Did I hear something? I'm sorry, I don't mean to intrude, but
As he's pulled back the curtain and talking to you, you can see inside the room, you see 3 sputtering campfires that are filling the tent with a heavy smoke, kind of venting through the ceiling, but not, or like flaps in the ceiling, but not nearly well enough. The room is pretty hazy in and of itself. You see a barely conscious, shirtless teenager that is like leaning on the center tent pole, and you can see a large, gruff man standing almost directly behind him, with studded leather armor on, wielding a whip. He has a long black beard and curly black hair. He just kind of looks over. He's like, "Who's over there? Who's there? Hey, boss, we got some visitors."
doing that, I'm slipping past. While he's probably turned his head slightly to...
Okay. Brandon, in this room, on the right-hand side, you see about 6 Vistani that are sleeping by one of the fires. You see now another gentleman that's in the room, and they are standing basically over the shirtless teenage young man. Guy kind of looks back and kind of looks towards the curtain where you were, and now he sees Gaynor instead. He's like, "What? Damn, she's quick. Boss, we got visitors."
Forgive me, I didn't mean to intrude, and certainly wasn't the intention of our visit, but what are you doing?
Well, the man with the whip in his hand. "I'm teaching this rat bastard a lesson." He pulls the whip back once more and begins to swing it backwards, almost going in a downwards
And what
motion.
lesson does a child need that deserves a whip?
He kind of stops, whip raised backwards, and he just kind of looks over at you. He's like, "This old piss pot lost track of me own daughter. And I'm teaching him the lesson that he's not to let that happen ever again." And he comes down with whip a third time and cracks along this man's back. The boy pipes up. Please don't. Don't intervene. This is my fault. As he goes to raise the whip back a fourth time, and he's almost got it overhead. The third man in the tent, also long black beard, reaches up and grabs the arm of the gentleman whipping. And he says, "All right, brother. I think that's enough. I think he may have learned his lessons. There's no need to senselessly beat the hell out of him anymore." You see the gentleman with the whip, very disgruntledly disgusted, just kind of like kicks the boy off of the tent pole that he's kind of been like bracing on, and just kind of like kicks him off to the side. And you do notice that there's 5 or 6 heavy whiplash marks into his back.
I'm just glaring at him.
Kalman nudges her, and he's like, and he looks at her, going, "Hey, get on with it."
Can I see these men, or is it too hazy in here? Do I not?
Yeah, you can see him from where you're at.
Do I recognize either of them?
You do.
I
You
recognize.
recognize the man who stopped the gentleman from whipping.
As Aragol, right?
That's Aragol, indeed.
I just like budge my way in and I go, Aragol, my old friend.
Kind of looks over. He's like, "Oh, it's you." Seems like you got the invitation and followed it here, did you? I honestly didn't think I'd be seeing you again, but
By
two
invitation,
old friends.
by invitation, you mean a dead man's letter? And I walk up to him and I take out my dagger and I hold it to his throat.
Okay.
Kalman just starts giggling.
Right.
Okay.
Can I make an intimidation check?
Make an intimidation check.
Oh, god damn it.
Really not
use-
good at that.
Time out. I use one of my lucks to reroll that. Son of a bitch. I have a +5 to intimidation. That's some bullshit.
I was like, "Welcome to my world." When I try to climb a tree.
You have more lucks if you want to, but right now he's not feeling very intimidated.
That's fine.
He just kind of smiles at it. He's like, "What you about to do? Give me a shave?"
Oh, trust me, he's quite handy with that.
He kind of looks over and just like,
Not to flinch at that.
he just kind of looks over and kind of eyes the whole group. He's like, "Looks like you've made some friends. Quite different situation than that pub I found you in, huh?"
I put away the dagger and I'm like, what's done is done. Now we're here for information.
He kind of like steps back. "Hey, this is the one I found on the other side, Luvash." He kind of looks at the guy that's holding the whip. The other guy just kind of laughs and chuckles like, "You're always good about sucking them in, man."
Kalman just walks to the side, and he kind of whispers to Gaynor, he's like, "I'm a sucker. What's going on here?"
This is the
Sure,
man
Vic,
who letter.
Are you at the entrance? Are you within the gate? I was.
Yeah, I'm trying to like
Yeah, it's
sort
kind
of
of like.
still hear what's going on and whatnot.
Like I'm saying, are you like walking into the tent or are you just standing outside?
I'm standing outside. I'm like keeping watch.
Okay. I'm sorry, what were you all saying?
No, I was just told Kalman this is the man who gave me the letter that led me here.
looks over. It's like, yeah, that was a job I was asked to do, for sure.
By who?
I figured you'd have figured that one out by now. But I'm the person who wanted to see you so bad.
Strahd himself?
The big guy asks for favors. We do them.
I just back off. Pissed.
Well, perhaps you can do us a favor in return for inconveniencing my friends there. We're looking for an elf. He's apparently wounded.
Kind of looks over to Luvash. He's like, "You want to take this one?" And Luvash is like, those fucking elves. Right now, almost all of them are out looking for my daughter that this soppy fuck let go and didn't keep a damn eye on. Half my men are out doing the same thing.
Could she be the injured elf we're seeking?
Kind of looks at you and spits on the ground.
Ah.
My
right.
daughter ain't no fucking elf.
Right. Good to know.
I just shake my head and
I just
pinch my
match
nose.
him eye to eye and just stare at him until he backs down.
Really?
I'm not gonna flinch.
Okay. Cool.
You kind of see him grip the whip a little bit tighter in his hand.
He smiles. Turns away.
Well, you wouldn't happen to know which direction the particular elf we're searching for is.
I might be inclined to give you that information if you found my fucking daughter.
Sure.
You do that?
But nobody does anything in this land without a favor done first. You haven't figured that out yet. You've been talking to the wrong fucking people.
Well then.
But you do me a solid. And I'll point you in the direction of your pissy elf friend.
Well then, if you give us a starting point, we can get on with it.
I don't know. Alexei! And he shouts to the boy on the ground, who's kind of like cowering and quibbling. Where'd you lose Arabelle at? I don't remember. He pulls back the whip as if he's about to strike me again. He's like, you better get a damn memory real quick. She mentioned she liked to go to the lake. I fell
Oh.
asleep,
Take a
boss. I'm
breath.
sorry.
Oh.
Well, the fucking elves are out searching the woods. My men are searching the perimeter of town. The town's guard don't like my kind in there, so they don't let us in the walls. But if he says the lake, might be a good starting point for you folk. Aragorn's just gonna kind of look over. It's like, I would say that I'm sorry that I brought you here, but, well, let's be fair, a job's a job. But I am glad to see that you've survived in these lands at least a little while. Would be a shame if I brought somebody that was so weak-willed to have already died in this land. I feel like I would have caught a wrath and a punishment most severe. Just
Yeah,
smiles
fuck
and smirks while he's looking at you. And you can tell now that you're talking to these guys, they're both somewhat inebriated. As are the 6 Vistani that are passed the fuck out drunk in the tent. But there are, like, you've been having this conversation, this back and forth, and none of the ones asleep on the ground have even, like, stirred. So,
Just a few more questions before we go look. How long ago did your daughter go missing?
Going on just about a day or so.
Hmm. And is there a possibility we can look at where she sleeps at all? I
He
mean,
just kind of looks at you. He's like,
I know myself how young women like to keep their secrets. Perhaps there's
he
a
kind of looks
clue-
at you. He's like,
Yeah.
you and only you. Follow me. Walks towards the edge of the tent, pointing at you, Branwen, to be the one to follow. The rest of you, play nice. Walks out.
I give everyone a shrug as I go.
Sorry. As he walks out, he kind of walks past Irina, past Trovic, at the entrance, and as he opens the gate, or opens the curtain, Trovic, Aragog kind of sees you through the curtain, and you can kind of, if you're looking in, you would see him as well. And he's just like, you hear his voice coming from inside the tent. And there's the Minotaur. I'm surprised you're both still alive. As the Vash will lead you to this wagon here.
Okay.
Under my breath, I say you would be, and I flick with a flick of my wrist. I cast prestidigitation, and I make it look like he just pissed himself.
Oh, that spell. I love breasts.
Oh my god. Okay, as that's happening.
Can I, real quick, as he leads us?
He's only leading Branwen. He hasn't led
Oh.
anybody else.
I thought there were other groups being led
No,
to tend toward him.
Y'all have been told to stay with Aragorn until he returns.
Hmm.
Branwen, he gets to this large, more lavish barrel-top tent or wagon than the rest of them, and he kind of goes, pulls out a key from his belt and just opens an iron padlock that's on the back door of this wagon. And kind of opens it up. It's like, her bed is on the right side.
I give it a nod.
He kind of steps inside with you into the wagon. You notice as you approach this wagon that this wagon is much nicer. Golden silk drapes on the inside. When you're approaching the outside of it, the wheels have sun-shaped golden hubcaps. There's a small chimney pipe that protrudes through the roof of the wagon itself as you walk to the inside of it. Or climb into the inside of it. Inside itself is a mess. There's a number of empty wineskins, dirty clothing, fur pelts and things like that are strewn about. You see a small hammock on the across the length of the wagon. I'm sorry, across the width of the wagon under the driver's seat. As he kind of points in that direction. And that's where she sleeps.
Okay. I'm gonna give him a nod and step up to it, and I'm gonna look to see if there's like diary or some. I'm going all CSI on this shit.
Okay. As you approach the hammock, sitting in
bone
the hammock
blankets.
is a burlap doll,
Oh, fuck!
button eyes, that's lying in the middle of the hammock. Around the hammock itself, it seems like Arabelle has no other personal possessions.
Nothing. It's just a hammock.
It's a hammock and a pile of a few sets of dirty clothes.
Can I see if there's any place she could have like hidden something?
Make an investigation check.
I'm just being thorough.
No, absolutely. You kind of look around, kind of shuffle for maybe a secret compartment or something like that in the framework of the actual wagon itself. All smooth wood. Nothing seems to be hollow or knock or have any echo chamber to it. It's just bare bones area. Pile of dirty clothes. A small teenage girl-sized hammock.
Nothing in the doll. So much as I don't want to go near the doll.
It just looks like a doll.
Wonderful.
As you look at the doll,
Oh god.
you see a small tag on it.
Same tag.
Is
Same
no
tag as
fun.
always. Is
Yep.
no fun. Is no
Is
Blinsky.
no Blinsky. Or sinister.
He's the only toy maker around for miles, so makes sense. Okay, I give a shrug and make my way out.
Vash kind of looks at you as you get out and he's like, we don't keep much. But as I said, I think your best bet, other than torturing Alexei a little bit more,
Face
I'd be up.
darkens.
He gains a wry smile on his face as he says that to you. And he just might be up at the Lake Zarovich.
Then that's where we'll look. Just gonna make my way back to everyone else.
As I sort of lock eyes with Nim, she would probably hear in her head, God, I want to punch this fucker.
As he walks back into the tent, staying to behind you. And he gives... Make a perception check now. And Trovik, because you're outside of the tent. So, you both notice that as he's walking by Irina, he kind of gives like a long up and down glance in her direction. As he kind of ushers you back inside the tent. And he walks back over to beside his brother, Aragal. And he's like, well, what are you waiting for?
I just look at the others.
I look back at her.
Emma's just like, are we going or not?
I mean, I'm waiting to make sure Gator doesn't want to punch someone.
No, I'm getting better.
And shall we?
As we turn to leave, I wave my hand in the air and I say, later, shithead. And I cast Precipitation again. And I make it smell like Erangel just like ripped a real bad one.
And
Okay.
to follow up on all that, I cast Thaumaturgy, and I put a whisper where all the sleeping men are, and you just hear a whisper that just says, "Did he piss himself?"
Okay. As the both of you do this,
Oh my goodness, you two are ridiculous.
I apologize. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Huh, my iPhone charger isn't working. GG.
you hear Aragog just kind of chuckle, grin, and call out to you, Gaynor. Goodbye, my old friend. I hope you have the luck of the mule from here on out.
Luck of the mule.
Oh, hello. Can I turn back and take a look at him?
And Luvash is going to kind of look over at Aragog, nod, and then look to Kelma.
Hold on,
May your steps be
is this a spell?
fleet-footed and immobile.
This is fun.
Time out.
Kirsten.
Is this a spell?
I need both of you to make a...
No. Is
It's
this
not a spell.
Okay.
I need both of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
I re-roll mine. God damn it. No, wait. Is that enough to beat it? No, I can't. You can't ask that, can I?
Can't ask that. You can reroll if you want to. If you don't think 13's high enough.
I think 13's high enough. I'm fine.
Okay. So, 13 was the DC.
Oh, fuck.
So Aragog looks a little perturbed as nothing seems to happen to Gaynor. However, Kelma, as you begin to walk out of the tent itself, your footing's not as sure as it usually is. You take about 3 or 4 steps and then you stumble, almost as if like you're slipping on something. You catch your balance again, but your motor skills are slightly impeded. It becomes a bit more difficult for you to take more than 5 or 6 steps at a time without feeling like you're slipping from your right foot.
What's wrong with you, Kelmo?
Calmont starts gripping his quarterstaff really tight right now, and he just starts seeing his, like, his fangs from it's just kind of, it almost looks like he's getting like a rage moment, and he's like, "Let's leave."
I'm letting
I'm
them
down to kill them.
walk past.
I just go.
And as Kelma walks out, he sees if he can find any of the spikes near while we're walking out, and I take my quarterstaff and unhook a spike.
Okay. Duly noted.
I have some ideas, but most of them would set
Nah.
the tent on fire, and that would probably not be a good idea.
Probably
I-
not.
Hang on, what's my wisdom score? What's my wisdom save?
You feeling froggy? You want to jump too? We can play this game all day.
I could actually play this game all day, and I'm just gonna kind of look back at the two as I let everyone pass.
Alright. Passing.
I pass.
Because I'm assuming.
I just stop by the doorway, just wait. Ranwin.
You know, for someone who really wants their daughter back, that's some fun stuff you're doing there. And I don't particularly appreciate it. And I'm gonna smile and show my fangs.
Oh,
Oh,
Still got Caddy.
this
As
is
you hear-
gonna be interesting.
the
Better
vice
hope.
kind of chortled out. Ho ho! It's a feisty one. I'm surprised he hasn't got you under his control yet.
He'd have some. I think even the mighty Strahd would have some difficulties with me. I'm just gonna leave.
As you walk out the tent.
Still really want to kill those fuckers.
You all are back outside the tent, and Irina kind of comes to you. It's like, well, did you get any information?
They're dicks.
That tracks. But I mean, did you find where the elf is? That the whole point of us being here?
They won't tell us.
Who won't tell us what?
We seem to have made an arrangement that we will help them find the missing young girl, and in return, it seems that the elf we're searching for will probably come back to this camp, even though they're going to tell us where he is. So, there's that.
Well, we don't have a whole day to wait, so we might as well go to the lake. But I want to remind everyone the last time we were near the lake.
Yes.
Precisely. She's probably
So-
dead.
Kelma kind of
Irina
sighs.
and I should maybe Irina and I should take the lead.
Probably.
Let's take stuff that plug your ears too. Saying.
Excuse me a minute while I look at the map. If I can find it.
I'll
Yes.
go check
Found
and
it.
see if I have the gear.
Yep.
I do not.
Where are we? So
In a
we went-
tinderbox, would I have
Still in
Yeah.
Velaki,
like cotton?
Okay.
based on the map.
Yeah.
You would probably not have cotton in a tinderbox.
Hmm.
No.
No.
Okay. I'm just thinking about fire starter.
You'd probably have like iron phosphate.
Yeah, I got flint, fire, steel, and tinder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I said, the only thing I did was pull out one of the spikes in the tent as we walked out. So
Yes. I was thinking about whether or not I could use some wool and plug my ears with it.
I mean, you have cloth.
That's a good point.
So,
Yeah. I also need to look up something else while we do something. Carry on.
are you all in transit to the lake?
Yeah.
I believe so. That's our next destination. Yep.
next move.
All right. So, are you going through the town, or are you going around the town?
Well, seeing how their people aren't allowed in the town, we should probably go around the town. That's where we'll most likely find her.
Okay. So, as you exit and get back to the Velaki map, boop, boop, boop. And in the distance, the music begins to fade. Boop. Oh, no, not that music. That music. As you all get back to the
Disappears.
town and begin to go around the northern edge of it towards the lake, you travel. It probably takes about 30 minutes or so to go around the palisade wall. As you all are kind of like riding past the wall itself, you notice that there are a number of pikes staged outside the wall itself that have the heads of wolves on them. And they seem to be spaced about 5 to 10 feet or so apart, all the way around the perimeter edge of the wall.
Kalma points to one of the pikes with the wolf heads and yells out to Trovik. It's like, look, amateurs, right?
Trovik chuckles.
And it takes you all about the 30 minutes or so to get around the town itself. It's open land. The forest is about 40, 50 feet off to the far side of the palisade wall. If you stick to the wall, you can make it in about 30 or so minutes. As you get kind of towards the northern side of town, you pass by the northern gate on the outside. Avoiding any conflict or trouble, you see some town guard kind of like patrolling that gate as well. They seem to be switching shifts. It's probably about midday at this point. Maybe a little earlier, probably 11:30ish, I'd say.
We are still on our horses, right?
Yeah, no, you're still on the horses. You made good time. It's just around the perimeter of a town. And you come to. Oh no, where's my other page? Other page. Here we go. You see the vast lake in front of you. To the north of the lake, there's a large mountain range, and basically this lake is just at the foot of the mountain. You see a misty forest off in the distance around the perimeter of the lake itself, and as you kind of approach nearer, the water is extremely still on the lake itself. I have a map for that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Just make sure everything's right here. Okay, so y'all aren't technically at the map yet. That's fine. Okay, so as you all get basically to the lake itself, still lake in front of you. On the southern side, kind of nearest to the town, nearest to you, you see 2 docks and 3 medium-sized rowboats as you kind of like pull up. You have the lake around you. Make a perception check for me as you all arrive at this lake area.
All right.
And I need an Irina before I forget.
This is visual, I assume.
Yes, it's a visual check.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's still kind of the
Branwen,
difference between
I
like
swear you're almost blind.
I know.
Trevor,
My
you
mind
got
is
a
alpha,
perception check for me?
to be quite
Alright.
frank.
There it is.
Okay, so as you all are just kind of pulling up, the lake itself extremely still. You don't really notice anybody around the perimeter of the edge of the lake, but Kelma, as you kind of look out over this lake itself, kind of like trying to keep a keen eye, you
Sorry, give me a
see
sec.
you all are about here-ish. Okay, cool. Yeah, so bottom left corner of this map is where you all are starting. As you look out, you can kind of see the small inlet road that had brought you in here in the first place on the far side, over far to the east. And then as Kelma, as you look out over the lake, you notice a boat that is out in the center of the water.
I point to the boat and I just say, like, that looks different. Starts slowly heading towards the boat. While that's happening, I go into my equipment bag, pull out a little bit of cloth that I have just in case, and I just hold in my.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
Irina's on the back of my horse.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm keeping by him because
Okay.
because history.
Yeah, history and
Yeah.
stuff. Okay. So, as you kind of get out, you see this boat a little bit further into the lake now. Whoever was rowing it seems to have stopped. And you can see a man sitting in the boat at a far distance. The lake itself is surprisingly like clear of fog, and this area is kind of like just clear in general. But you see the 3 boats here on the dock area, and one kind of seems like brushed up under a tree. They all seem to be kind of tied off onto the dock itself. They're decent size. But come on, Brandon, as you just kind of like approach on your horses, you're probably about 25 feet or so away from the actual docks themselves, and you can see out onto the river, or out onto the lake, just a lone boat sitting in the center. As you all look around, you don't see your female water friend anywhere.
I'm just gonna look at like the tying on the boats, and you're gonna hear like a disapproving scoff. He's gonna be like, "Fucking pathetic. These people don't know how to tie knots."
Oh, okay.
Come on.
So,
I mean, if
Well-
you're looking at the tying on the boats, you're up there, so
Yeah.
you're gonna put yourself in position to do stuff.
Elmo gets a little
keep
bit
on
closer. He tries to see if I can see any features about that man, like if he's alive, dead, if he's just sitting there.
Okay.
Oh god.
You see the man in the boat is now standing. He seems to have a fishing pole in his hand.
This music.
So do we all want to go out there and ask him a question, or only two of us, or like one or two of us going?
I'll go. You're going, Gaynor.
Well,
I'm not a big fan of water.
Kamal's like, well, always talk to that guy, fisherman.
That'd be a viable strategy.
Kamal gets to the edge of the dock. This guy is far, but not super far, right?
if he,
The
5 feet,
map
si-
is not size accurate for that.
Oh.
Okay.
how far
Um,
would you say is from the dock?
Probably about 200, 250 feet.
Oh,
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was thinking I was just gonna yell at
A
him.
little better. I'm sorry. Let me do that real quick because that's probably about right.
Oh wait, I'm gonna hold up a hand and sort of look at the rest of the group and be like, telepathy. I believe I could probably talk to him.
at that distance?
Good point.
And Kamal
I
goes,
could get up close though.
if he's a peasant and he starts speaking in his head, we might see a man jump off a boat.
That is a good point.
Yeah, so I'd say from the docks itself, he's probably get on 160 some feet. That's about right. I changed the map size, so it should be right-ish.
Okay.
10 times your level. So yeah, 60 feet. F.
Okay. I mean, if all us,
So each
Ka-
grid
Ka-
square is
Kamal-
now 10 feet.
Kamal turns to the group like, want me to yell, and he goes, I can yell real loud.
Oh, yes. Yes, you can.
Oh, please, yes, please do it. No,
Okay.
I
I mean,
must insist.
Okay. So are you okay? Kamal just kind of shrugs and he's like, no one else has a plan. All right. And he turns around and he takes a deep breath and then he casts thaumaturgy.
Mhm.
And he just yells in a booming thing. Yells in a booming voice. He says, hey, fisherman, you seen an elf woman?
she's not an elf.
Well, oh no, she's not an elf. Yeah, that's right. We're looking for an elf. It's like have you seen a woman?
Doesn't
Now-
seem
now-
to be phased by your voice at all. He's just got right over the side of the boat, staring off into the water.
Oh,
Have you ever seen a woman before?
Interesting.
Kalma stops. He's like, he'd even act.
hmm.
Seems like it's our
Precisely.
friend.
Not a fisherman. He is a friendly one.
What's he going to do? Hit you with the rod?
What do you do?
Why don't you go and find out?
I could.
I mean, you look like the. Oh my god, word escaped me. Marine expert.
I am normally built for sailing on ocean. I'm not exactly a freshwater fisherman, but I can try.
Kalma just blurts out, water, boat, shut up. Points.
He looks at you and you swear to God there is a death glare in his eyes, but he will get in the boat.
Kalma just doesn't care whatsoever. He's just,
This is gonna be bad.
So,
I don't
Osgood,
sail or
you're the
anything.
only one getting in a boat?
No, I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna wait for Kelma.
I turn to Gaynor and go, Mage, join me. I don't trust the situation.
Not a mage.
as normal, Kelma just ignores and gets on the boat.
I just
Are
hop in
you
the boat.
taking 2 boats or 1 boat?
Looks
I'm
like.
gonna hop out if they are getting into a boat and just leaving.
Well, how many
Finish.
people can fit in a boat?
Yeah.
4 to 5 normal sized people.
So
Basically, our
That's
group.
They're
we can
decent
count
boats.
to 2.
Yeah.
Even with Trovic, if he
Like I
joins
said,
on the boat, that's
One sec.
Normal size people.
about normal size. I'm about to say. This is-
So I'll say the 3 of you fit pretty comfortably in a boat if you all get in the same boat.
Anybody else coming with or taking a boat?
Oh, this is a bad idea.
What other
I'm
idea do
gonna
you have?
tie the horses up to this tree.
I would say retroactively as you tie the horses, all the horses up to that tree.
I'm assuming they just dismounted and kind of just left them
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I would assume so, based on statements. Okay. You tie your horses up to a tree.
Yeah, this is a bad idea. Trovic.
it's out of our hand.
Sorry about that. Nearly just got roped into a job in the yard, but I managed to get out of it.
Nice.
Well, I'm not going in a boat on my own.
Kamal's like,
Technically, all 5 of us could, you, me, or
The only-
all of us plus Irina, except for Trovic, could all get on one boat.
You could. Is that what you wish to do?
The only thing is, I'm a little bit worried about our friend on the lake.
I'm fine with just being alone with Kelma if she wants to go on a different. If Osgood wants to go on a boat with the girls.
I'll get out then. Sort of wander around. I'm like, Jesus Christ!
Irina's
Alright,
gonna jump in a
please
boat
make
and
up
say,
your
"Are you coming?"
minds.
This is a bad idea.
Really
Very
is.
bad idea.
Kamal just kind of says to Trovic, like,
I'm
friend.
saying that out loud.
Yeah, Trovic just goes. Kamal just goes to Trovic. Goes, hey friend, I understand. Keep an eye on the horses in case someone funny comes around. Let us know.
Or, maybe search the shore for the girl where she's more likely to be.
I'm gonna do something really dumb. I'm gonna tie a rope to my anchor. And then just sort of leave it there. Look at the other two and sort of give like a half nod.
What?
Like you're
If
tying.
we need,
Mhm.
if we need to keep the boat in place, I've literally been carrying an anchor for the past however many hours.
I'm
months.
assuming these boats have anchors.
Do they?
I thought these were rowboats.
Yeah, they're
These are rowboats. These
But
would
they
not
still
be able to
have a
anchor in place.
I mean, it's a lake, not a friggin' sea. Wouldn't you just?
In a fight, you don't want the boat tipping.
Whether it's a friggin' okay, this boat's gonna tip whether it's got an anchor or not. Okay.
Kamal starts like sighing. He looks over at Gaynor. He's like, too much talking. Here we go.
I look back at Kelma and I go, row.
Again, a man who's never been on a freaking freshwater lake in his life.
Okay, so
This
I am
is
going. Yeah, this is
Born
gonna
and
be
raised
super
on the
fun.
sea, not on a lake.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you've never been. You're more experienced than my character, who lives in mountains in snow.
So, as you all are all on your boats, I'm going to start to row you out. As you row closer,
Cool.
you notice the man is just staring somewhat blankly as you get into a decent range of him.
When
He's
we
facing
get within
off the side of
60
the boat.
feet, when we get within 60 feet, can I try and telepathy him?
Sure.
I'm not trusting it, right? I'm like, I'm gonna telepathy to him, and I'm gonna be like, "Are you quite all right, mate?"
You get no response.
Oh, this
He's
is
not
bad.
responding to me, even with telepathy. There's something off about him.
This is bad.
So,
Weapons?
so you're talking. So can we and Kelma hear him or no?
Oh,
Say
I'd be yelling it essentially.
Okay.
Hmm.
So at this point, do we want to turn around if?
I
Like,
don't
we've got-
trust it.
Okay.
As you all are having this conversation, still kind of rowing in the right direction, you see the man kind of set the fishing pole down to the edge of the boat. He then kind of turns to his right towards the front of his boat. And he lifts up what is a brown burlap sack.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Everybody got a whole
It's like a
person?
large potato sack.
That's
And
60 feet
as
of
you
my-
all are close enough, you can hear some muffled
Fuck,
screaming
fuck.
coming from
We're
it.
within 60 feet, yeah?
I'll
No,
cast
I think
hold
so.
person on him.
Castle person.
I did. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw of 11 or more.
Oh fuck.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna look at
What is
Oscar
the save? It's
swim.
It's 11.
wisdom 11.
Mhm.
It's a wisdom save 18.
Jesus.
As he picks up this burlap sack and just kind of
Alright,
looks over to the water.
I'm gonna try
Chucks
and
it in.
dive in and swim over.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
dive and go and try to grab it.
Make an athletics check as the burlap sack goes falling into the water, sinking down.
Athletics, alright. That's 18.
I'm gonna tell Irina to roll us closer. And I'm gonna ready my crossbow and shoot at him. Cause fuck that shit.
I'm also going to take the anchor and I with me, so I fall faster.
How are
That
you?
seems like a
how are
really
you-
stupid
That-
idea, but you do
That's
you.
a very
Yep.
stupid idea.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to
Okay.
let go of it once I'm down, is the thing.
Okay.
Okay, so moving parts
Um,
and things happening. We'll handle it in order of things that were said. As she begins to sink down into the water, disappearing through the clear surface, sinking at a
Right.
descending rate of gravity with 30 feet.
It's gravity by half if it's in water.
mhm.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
So 30
Falling is
feet
pretty
because it
slow.
would be 60 normally in 6 seconds.
Here's a question. And
yeah.
Step of the Wind, how does Step of the Wind work on water?
It doesn't. Without water walk, you're still falling.
Correct.
Okay, what about like if I jump? Like try to get as close to where she dropped as possible.
Step of the
Because as opposed to like double my jump range. I could be like right there.
Yeah, then we're looking at jump calculations. So give me a second.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh god.
So Kalma, you're going to be jumping into the water, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like I was just going to like just dive because she's in the water.
Okay.
If she got dumped in the water, I was going to just dive in.
Seeing as he's about to, is he getting up to jump into the water?
Yeah, like I literally just saw the dive and I'm getting ready to jump in.
I touched the quarterstaff that's on his back and I cast light.
Okay. So you cast light on the quarterstaff. Kelma, you jump outward from the boat in a standing position. That is your strength score doubled. So you jump 4 feet.
Shit. I should have taken fucking potency.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You jump 3 feet out of the boat. Because that's with your step of the wind. It would be. I'm sorry. Step of the wind would be you jumping about 5 feet out of the boat from a standing position. Because long
Really?
jump requires a 10-foot running start.
Oh,
to be fully
gotcha.
effective.
Well, then I don't want to use the
Yeah.
So
So I'd say so you jump out of the boat as well as Osgood. Y'all begin to swim/sink. One of you is swimming, one of you is sinking.
yeah, I'm swimming like I'm assuming with all the years because I have athletics and everything, swimming for me is just like a thing.
Yeah, and it's half your movement speed is your movement speed in water because you don't have a water movement speed. So 45 and a
Yeah.
half is 22, so you get 22 feet on your basic move. The body's still sinking as you go, and Osgood, you are sinking because of the anchor, so you're full 30 to sink. As you try and move forward, you only get about 10 feet forward because you are being weighed
Makes
down by
sense.
an anchor.
It makes perfect sense. That's kind of my goal
you're
is to
like
get below
there,
her and catch her,
You're
essentially.
like there, and Osgood, I'd say you're. Sorry, I'm gonna do this real quick, just for my knowledge. Negative 30, and
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
Oop. Well, you know what you're doing now.
Well, I was trying to read about it, but
okay. So on your characters, if you click on them now, The red circle is how deep you are
Where?
in the water.
If
Oh.
you click on your character token, hit the red
Yeah.
circle.
Oh.
Alright,
Oh.
what are my people above the water doing?
I'm telling Irina to row the boat closer, and then I'm shooting at the guy.
Okay. Irina will row the boat closer as
Okay.
you shoot at the
An
guy.
advisable
I'm
situation.
basically directing her to be
We're not in a turn order, but I'm going to use this as a turn order type thing, so we're going to go by people what they say and how they say it.
just
If
to
that makes sense.
clarify. I'm directing her to be above where they're going to surface, so that we can pull her into the boat, or
Okay.
whoever comes up into the boat.
Yeah, I'd say with Irina's strength and rowing speed, you can get to about there-ish.
Also, since if this token up here is the girl, right? Or the person that
Yes.
got thrown in. Well, I wouldn't be diving underneath the water right now. I would be like just swimming there, so then I could just dive.
Okay, fair.
Hmm.
So yes, you would get your movement speed half, which would be 22, which would be like there-ish, right? Because that's measurements, things, and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so you're about there
Rest in
as
peace,
you're
my
swimming.
anchor.
Osgood is sinking 30 feet
Mhm.
down
Well,
from
that's the
this
goal.
distance of 34-ish feet away. Yeah.
Yep.
And Kelmai is emitting light. Osgood is in pitch darkness of this dark lake. Brandman, attack roll.
I have dark vision 60 feet.
It's water.
Fair.
Nope.
That is going to miss as you shoot high, and seemingly oblivious doesn't notice anything. He's still just staring out. He's picked back up his rod now, and he's just recast it into the water.
Can I see any of this commotion?
Jesus.
Can I?
I
equip
would say you can see it all from the shore. Yes. You see people doing crazy shit and diving into water. And
I'm gonna start slowly moving back toward the dock.
Can I equip
As
something?
things are happening.
what are you equipping?
My cape of the mountebank.
You can. It takes an hour to attune to it. Oh, but it doesn't require attunement.
doesn't require
That's true.
attunement.
Okay. That's fair.
I seen where she went in, right?
Yes.
And she's 60 feet in the water.
You can't tell exact depth, but
Let me guess, 70 feet. So 60 by 70.
okay.
So
As
100
the girls are looking from their boat, you see Gaynor pull out this red cloak, and he just kind of, a red cape, and he just kind of like wraps it around, ties it onto his neck, and then in almost a flash of brimstone and dust, he just disappears from the boat now sitting empty. Gaynor, you appear underwater.
I start swimming up to try and find the burlap sack.
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Where's my perception?
Kelma, at this point, you would be over to where you saw the sack go in, more or less. Based on this area, yeah, you'd be right around there, right at the foot of the boat. Osgood, you would have gotten probably about another 10 feet forward and another 60 feet down.
5 by 5, my man.
At this point, I'd like to drop the anchor, and then
Okay.
I'd like to try swimming forward.
Okay.
Also,
I would
here's the thing with
say-
his perception. Wouldn't like if I'm there at the same time as Gaynor, right? He
Mhm.
casts that light on my staff. Would he be able to see the light or any light come on the lake so you help him see?
Opacity rules. Interesting.
Pretty weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. It wouldn't be a disadvantage roll, but it would still be the 5 that you rolled.
Yeah, okay.
Can I? No, never mind.
You have a luck point. But
Can I use a luck point and re-roll?
sure, I'll give that one to you.
I do have
hey.
inspiration and a ring of brief blessing, so I should be able to make my way out without drowning.
You haven't equipped the ring of the brief blessing nor attuned to it, so
Oh
You don't
fuck! It
have it?
requires attunement.
I
Yes.
believe it does.
All right, 21.
21. As you flash in the water, a bit disoriented, you kind of look around and you realize you took a little bit of a breath before you flashed in, but you're now underwater. And as you look up, you see kind of like falling down almost right on top of you is probably about 4 or 5 feet off to the side of you is this heavy brown, dark shape coming towards you. You can see the light that Kelma is emitting from above, and you kind of reach out towards it and grasp this large burlap sack. You can see bubbles emitting from the sack itself. Ladies on the boat, anything? Are we still underwater people?
Well, I know at this point, Kelma has, or since he was right there, he started to die.
Yeah. So
He
you
took a
start to
deep,
dive.
he took a deep breath and just went straight down.
Okay. So as you start to plunge down, down, you get probably about, with all your movement and everything else, straight dive down, I'd say probably about 20 or so feet down, 25 feet down based on your speed. So now you're in 25.
And I'm pushing this
Um,
thing up.
You're pushing the thing up.
I mean, we're still
Okay.
moving around so that we can help people get.
Yeah, no, y'all are still shifting. Okay, got it. So we'll do that. We'll move this here. As you're trying to get around the boat and in range. You're negative 60. The girl in the sack is negative 60, getting pushed upwards. You get about, based on your strength and everything else, you're trying to like lift this bag up and swim up at the same time with this person in it. You're not moving very far. You're moving probably about 10, maybe 15 feet upwards with all of your strength and movement that you're kind of trying to lift. Osgood.
All right.
As you kind of swim now under the boat and you see Gaynor trying to lift this girl up.
I'm gonna
you
assist.
dropped your anchor.
Mhm.
You're going to assist. That would give you all another 10-ish feet or so. I need Gaynor and Osgood to make Constitution saving throws for me.
All right. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna use my fucking inspiration.
And
Okay, that's inspiration.
I epically failed.
That's
Wow.
nearly a fail.
Shit.
Okay. So as you all are both underwater trying to muscle through and raise this girl from the water, you realize that you're struggling and you're not used to being underwater as much.
Am I there by now?
It's extremely hard to hold your breath as you're trying to lift this girl up, and both of you more or less run out of the oxygen that was capacitated in your lungs as Kelma gets down and now has his hand on the top of the burlap sack.
Yeah. And
And
moment I grab on with both hands, I immediately start doing like majority of the lifting, and I just kind of look at the other two with the whole I'll get it kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, make a strength check or an athletics check, your choice with advantage.
Athletics.
Athletics, I think,
It's strength.
probably be the better one, yeah.
With advantage.
Oh, with advantage. 20.
Very nice. With your efforts combined,
Here's an interesting question.
yes.
If I run out of air and I have an empty water skin, could I use the empty water skin to give myself more air?
No, because water skin.
It's not how that works.
Sorry, I need to see
Shame.
scores real quick. I apologize. Apologies.
No problem.
DM stuff. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so cool. So yeah, so you all struggle to bring this bag back up to the surface, and right as Gaynor, you feel yourself almost giving out as you kind of lift this sack right to the surface. And Osgood, you've almost stopped lifting completely now as you are just like out of breath trying to get back to the surface to gasp for air.
Yeah,
You feel
yeah.
yourself suffocating. Bremen, you watch as all three of them kind of surface, Kelma first and the other two right behind, gasping for air as they come up with this burlap sack, and they've just lifted it enough over the water. Presumably, you've got the head of the burlap sack out of the water. But you're
Yeah,
not
that's
sure.
what I'm like literally like holding it up, and I'm beginning to like almost like lifeguard pull the sack to Branwen's boat.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, I'm gonna
lean
shift the
over
boat
and
here.
get ready to.
Yeah, I'm rotating a boat because rotate boats is fun.
Yeah.
Oop, oop. Give me one more athletics check with advantage for everybody trying to hoist this bag into the boat itself.
Oh, with advantage.
Who?
Only Kelma.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
oh,
so.
okay. Sorry. Yep.
Oh, okay.
With advantage, Alma.
Wait.
One more time.
He already
okay.
did. He already did. It was 8
Oh.
and 11.
Oh, 8 and 11.
Yeah, so through your efforts combined, you end up getting whatever's in this sack back onto the boat with the girls as the three of you are still bobbing in the water. And as Irina kind of like rushes over to open up the top of the sack, and she just kind of like pulls out a dagger and cuts the knot that's holding the bag sealed.
Congratulations, it's a crocodile.
As she kind of pulls down the edges of the burlap sack, you see a young girl with black hair. She has some bit of cloth stuffed in her mouth.
She conscious and breathing?
She is not.
Medicine check. No.
I'm gonna touch her and cast Cure Wounds.
You're in the water.
You're in the
yeah.
water.
All
Nasty.
right, yep.
Up.
No shit. Fuck. No. I'm gonna get him in the boat then.
There you go.
As
I'm
you
gonna
I could
I'm
also
gonna
just
look
go
work
healing
on
word,
hoisting
but-
Osgood into the boat.
I'm gonna look between Osgood and Gaynor to see which of them wants to be getting the boat because I know both of them can heal.
I can save her. Let me handle it.
Cool. Then I'm pulling you in the boat.
Thank you.
You pull the
Well,
scrawny man into
Yeah,
the boat.
while that's going on, I saw Gaynor do it right as that goes on. I'll join Gaynor in the other boat. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm tempted
I'm
to get in the other boat.
I'm assuming that
That's
guy
a
is just
natural
still.
one.
Okay.
Should begin.
As you kind of reach down and put your hand on this girl, she takes a deep breath as you kind of like brought her back to some semblance of
It was
life.
bait all along. Yeah, all right. And then he's gonna
Um,
collapse.
That's it. You have the girl in the boat. And Kelma and Gaynor kind of get in the fisherman's boat. It doesn't tip, surprisingly. And the fisherman's just kind of like staring out over the lake, expectantly with the fishing pole in the water.
Seeing that the girl's alright, I'm pointing my crossbow at him. I'm not shooting, but I'm keeping it trained on him because fuck, something weird is happening.
Gaynor's just catching his breath.
Yeah, Kelma wants to inspect. He has his quarterstaff out, but he wants to inspect him to see if he sees anything on it that could be explain what's going on.
Nothing. He's just standing there. Fishing away.
I turn to the ladies and I go, I think he's under some sort of spell. I don't want to
Bop him.
kill him. Bop him? Okay. And I go, dude, you don't have to tell him. But I basically, I basically just, I go up to him carefully and then I just kind of do like a knockout, like almost karate chop to the back of his neck.
That's not what I meant, but okay. Works.
We can attack roll.
Yeah, I just, because, like, it's not to kill. I just wanted to see if I can incapacitate him.
I just imagine him getting in close, holding the guy's neck, and then just bopping him across the fucking throat, and he just passes out.
Jesus.
Yeah, that hits.
Give him a
damage.
saving throw. Okay.
It didn't do damage?
You
Oh,
gotta,
yeah,
you
because
gotta,
I
you
gotta
have
do
to
the thing.
You have to
Yeah.
click on arm strike.
Yeah. because
Just
the thing different now.
Yeah. Just click it in the chat. Yep. There you
Why did it
Um,
fall?
I don't know. It's because of setups. So as you bop him, he kind of like puts his hand on the back of his head as you like karate chop the back of his neck. Just kind of looks over at you, half in a daze, and just like, "Hey, what you do that for?"
Kelma's just like, oh, you're awake. You know what you just did.
Yeah, maybe.
Where are you right now?
I'm on the lake. I'm always on the lake. It's what I do.
You do realize you just tried to kill somebody.
Oh, my good luck charm.
Good luck charm?
Yeah, I threw it in the
Narrow
water.
eyes.
And
And I was waiting for fish. The lake's supposed to bless me. It's what it does.
That was
A
a
gill.
person.
Yeah. Those people are good luck charms.
I'm
Fucking
gonna whip out my blade and point it at his throat.
I fucking
You're on
just
a different boat.
you're not.
Oh, fuck, right. I
I
thought
just-
it
One day you'll figure out what boat you're actually on.
I just
Yeah,
cast
right?
Eldritch Blast at his
God.
face twice.
Where am I?
I'm not dealing with this. I'm just blasting him off this boat.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm
Okay.
shoving him back 20
okay,
feet,
cool.
or 10 feet.
He is unconscious after that blast.
And in the
he
water.
flies 10 feet into the water.
Thank God.
Kelma
and the
actually
heavy man begins to sink.
no. Kelma actually jumps in the water. He pulls out his rope. He wants to tie the guy to the back of the boat, so that way we could drag him back.
He's good.
Okay.
I can't even.
As you
This guy's
tie the rope around the guy,
He's dead.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
I don't give a fuck. He just tried to use a little girl as fucking bait. I don't even care.
okay.
Oh, he's conscious.
Oh
My
wow!
God.
Holy shit!
So you
Okay,
tie him to the back of
saved.
the boat, and do you all begin to row back to shore?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I'm
I
guessing
was
those
gonna
are.
get the other boat.
NPC.
I'm
Yeah,
guessing those are saving throws.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I get back in the boat. So while we row back, I tell Ian Orange to say, I just look at him and go, just watch him. Witness.
As you all are rowing back, he begins to sink under the boat yet again.
Yeah,
Fast
like-
enough to drag him behind the boat. And he begins to suffocate under the water.
Yeah, because you're. It's fine.
I'm-
I
I'm
thought
fine
I,
with this.
He is somehow still alive,
Still alive.
suffocating under the water.
Wait, how close are we to the shore here?
I'd say you probably get back. He is completely
character
submerged by
doesn't
the time
care.
you pull back up to the sand itself and dry dock the boats. Positioning and purpose this would be too much of a pain in the ass to move around, but
I hand the rope to Trovic and I tell him to pull.
Just to clarify,
mhm.
Nim cares, Bramwin does not. Just to clarify.
yeah.
Because you are all freaking evil right now.
I
Oh,
don't give
this dude is an evil bastard. I don't even care.
I'm
So,
just,
so we left the boat out there.
Camel's just thinking more about witnesses. Like,
You killed Holden. Christian.
Just killed all the guys.
Hell yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm glad. I'm fine
As
with it.
I would-
you hand the rope to Trovic, and he begins to pull this guy ashore. Unconscious body laying on the beach.
Time to a
with his
horse.
Sand edge.
Tie him up and put him on a horse.
I do a medicine check on him to see if he's still alive.
Do a medicine check.
That's fair. The good guy just killed Holden. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, you knocked him off the boat. Said he was going to die off
I'm
the
not
boat
the
anyway.
good guy.
As you kind of just like check his body and his, pulse, he doesn't seem to be breathing currently. You kind of do a chest pump type CPR maneuver, and you just see like a spout of water just spit out of his mouth, just like cartoon style, like Bugs Bunny, just like.
Okay.
Um,
Kalmar just goes to Trovic and he goes, "Big man, this guy's an asshole, but he might have information." And I take the rope that Trovic was had and I just tie him up. I go, "Do you mind putting him on your horse?"
I don't think he'll fit on my horse.
Clydesdale
You'll probably
Trovic
fit
and a
with-
big fat man probably won't.
That's true.
do much
That's true.
good.
He'll probably fit with me if Irina rides with someone else.
Who's
Gainor
taking
out.
the unconscious girl?
Oh, I'll
Just
take the
kidding.
unconscious girl onto my horse.
Of course he will.
Okay, then I guess he can go on my horse.
She's in Gainor's age range, if we're being honest. Continuing on. Continuing on.
And to be fair,
She's
I'd
like
save her.
16. He's 23. It's not out of the age range for medieval times.
times.
I mean, it's Twitch.
I mean, in the world that we're in, sure.
No
yeah, fair.
comment.
In the land of
Anywho.
Barovia.
Pretty sure.
Anyway.
not unheard of. Back to the point and the plot. You all managed to get back to your horses, taking the tied up and unconscious fat man and the young girl back with you around the town again and back towards the Vistana camp once more. That's where we're going to take our first break.
Okay.
You lot are evil!
I'm not. I'm not evil.
I'm just fucking performing righteous retribution at this point. I don't
I'm
give
not
a
evil.
fuck.
He's alive. And
Not
I pulled him
evil
out of
was
the
man who
water.
tied him under a boat.
I tied him to the.
Honestly,
I tied him
we
to
did
the
him a
boat.
fucking mercy by leaving him alive.
A
Yeah.
boat that doesn't go fast enough to give him any sort of chance of skimming the surface, so he has to think behind the boat.
Hey,
Controlled
he,
water,
now-
we
hey,
just fucking
hey,
murdered
hey!
both
I figured he's a fat guy. He'll float. He was like-
This is
Damn.
not the case. Surprisingly, he was sunk the entire time weighing you down. I'm surprised
Well-
you aren't
well,
exhausted
he's-
right now.
well, he's on the back of a horse now, and he's tied up. Now we got a witness to the situation.
Jeez.
I'm innocent.
Trovic is like,
I'm completely innocent. I'm tending to an unconscious girl. Like, no.
Oh my goodness.
Good
Hey,
lord.
we all saved the we all saved the unconscious girl, and we tortured the guy who threw her in. I think it's a wash.
Anyway, I need to be right back. While you guys
Okay,
do-
yeah, we're gonna go to break. We'll
All
be
right,
back in
okay.
about 5 or 10
That's
minutes.
Yeah, guys, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, guys. We'll be back in 10 minutes, and we'll see you guys then. And make sure you tell your friends to come back for part 2. Welcome back, everybody, to part 2 of session 15 of Curse of Strahd. And now, on with the adventure.
Alrighty, so after the shenanigans up at the lake, that's the lightest thing I can call them, takes you guys another half hour or so with the added weight and trying to make sure that everybody's somewhat stable to get back down to the forest edge before you once again return into the Vistana camp. Your travel, for the most part, goes unimpeded. Some of the town's guard that are patrolling the city wall kind of look at you, but you're just riding by on the outside of the city. Albeit with 2 unconscious bodies on 2 horses, but they're not coming outside of the wall to mess with you.
But both bodies are breathing, right?
Yeah, both bodies are breathing for the time being.
I can just imagine
Welcome
them
to
looking at us
Barovia.
and just shaking their heads and saying, "It's outside of my jurisdiction."
Yeah, pretty much. I don't get
Get
paid
paid
enough for this shit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Basically. Okay. That said, wow, my maps are all over the place. You eventually make it back once again to the Vistana camp. With little hassle, and all of you ride up back to the edge once again of this center tent. Unless you'd like to do anything else, I'll just fast track us to that.
I mean, other than Gaynor takes off the cape of the monobank
Yeah.
and puts it away, nothing else.
That's fair. That's fair. And of course, I'm not gonna be able to find the damn things. That's fine. As you all get back and begin to dismount,
Tying up our horses, of course.
of course. I mean, it's always a good thing to say, because God forbid they get spooked and you now have no horses. That would suck. You all dismount. A little bit of commotion comes through the camp. One of the Vistani who is standing outside of the tent kind of runs inside. And then, as you all are kind of heading towards the tent flap opening, you see Luvash exit the tent, and Aragal is closely on his heels behind him. You just kind of walk out, and as soon as Luvash sees Arabelle, I don't know who's carrying her off the horse, but
She was
I
on
assume-
Ganor's horse, right?
Yes.
Correct, yes.
So it would be Gaynor probably carrying her. Makes logical sense. He's going to rush up and basically attempt to take her out of your arms, more or less. And he's, for a grizzled asshole of a man, he breaks for a moment. He's relieved. He kind of puts his hand, the back of his hand, kind of across her face. Notices that she's still breathing and is just unconscious. And he embraces her. He calls out, to Arabelle. She doesn't respond, but he assumes she's probably just decently tired. He's gonna kind of just look at you all and give an almost solemn nod as he kind of walks back in with Arabelle in his arms into this tent.
Before he finishes walking away, I just kind of blurt out. I go, "We found the asshole who did this. He's tied up next to my horse."
And Luvash just kind of looks over. He's like, Aragal, deal with it. I'm gonna make sure my daughter's okay. And he just kind of disappears into the tent, and Aragal's like, so you found him?
Yeah.
I'm curious
6
as to what
feet
happened.
deep. The bastard used as fishing bait.
A good luck charm, apparently.
What do you mean by we found him?
Who? What? Huh?
You said he said we found him. What did you mean, her?
I think he just means the guy that did this.
The guy that did this?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Because it was shouted out that you found the guy who did this, and the response was, where'd you find him?
Okay. It just
Over the
sounded more
lake.
like he was announcing that he knew who he was. That makes
No.
sense.
No. Just like off the statement of the word guy, not anything else.
Mm.
Where'd
Okay.
you find him?
Right. Continue.
He kind of looks over to Kelmas like, where'd you find him?
He was on this lake. He was some weird fisherman. Tried talking to him, and he ignored us. And then he threw a sack into the river, and we noticed that the sack was moving. So it didn't take too long to figure out what was going on, and we jumped in and got her.
He called her a good luck charm.
Hmm.
My eyes narrow at that, and you hear like almost an inaudible growl in the back of his throat.
Those fucking Barovians. They never learn. They always think they're entitled to something of ours. They have stories about us. They tell lies about us. They play tricks, and they call us the tricksters.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
He kind of has a small dagger that he's been kind of playing around with in his hand, just like by his hip, and just kind of points the back end of it towards you. He's like, I'd watch who you were talking to there, okay?
Kelma pipes up and goes, what? He goes, and you better watch what you say. We just did you a favor.
No.
Now it's time for you to do us a favor.
Please
No,
calm
no.
down.
He kind of looks at you. He's like, lowers the blade and the hilt end that he was pointing slightly, and just kind of looks over at Kelma. He's like, you're right. You did do me a favor. And he kind of looks at you, and you see a gleam in his eye, and he just looks straight at you, Kelma, and he's just like, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to move normally. And suddenly, your stumbling, walking ailment seems to have cleared itself up.
And
Kelma just stares at him, just like the whole time, like he knows. So he just stares at him, just unflinching.
Take me to your horses. I want to see this man for myself.
And I just point my quarterstaff towards the horses. I go, you know where your horses are.
Kind of pushes by you all and kind of just like walks by you, come on, almost like shoulder checks you out of the way. Not in an aggressive manner, but just in like a brushing past you.
And while he's doing that, I kind of have my foot slightly out.
Jesus Christ. All of you are going to get us murdered.
He stumbles a little bit. He doesn't full on trip. But...
And then I just kind of say low. I go, I know it's real hard footing here, huh?
As he continues to walk over, you hear him kind of call out to one of the nearby wagons for some of the Vistani that are in that wagon, and you see about 3 or 4 Vistani just jump out of the wagon nearest to where your horses are hitched up at, over by Aragol, as he's now gotten over to the horses, and he kind of takes the dagger that he'd been playing around with in his hand and kind of cuts the ropes that were holding the man on the horse. Man's still tied up. He just like kind of slashed the binding ropes that held him onto the horse and just like let him drop to the ground. He just kind of looks him over, looks back at you all, smiles and nods, and then he whispers something in Vistani to the other 3, and the 3 begin to lift this guy up and carry him into the tent, kind of shuffling past you all.
I walk over to where my rope is, I'm assuming discarded, and I just try to pick up what I could salvage.
I mean, some of the rope is still tying this guy up. It was just
Oh, okay. I know he like.
they've still got him tied up. It's just they cut
okay.
off whatever was holding him to the horse.
Oh, okay. Then.
So you tied him to the horse as well.
Gotcha.
For travel.
I mean, well, He was riding with me because we had to double things up.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, he was like a body on a horse.
Yeah.
Assuming you didn't hold a man up for 35
No.
minutes. You probably tied him up.
That's true. Sling on the back.
Take a big pole, you tie him to it like a plant, and then
I
you
mean, you
just
could have
stick it
dragged
in
him
the
behind the
ground.
horse for all the way that Kelma had been treating him the entire time. But
Yeah.
continuing on, the man gets dragged unconsciously into the tent that Muvash walked in with Arabelle, and the rest of you all are outside the tent as Aragel kind of walks by.
We had a
And-
deal.
Indeed, we did. And the only thing you can ever trust on in Barovia is the deal made. So, with that being said, the Dark Elves should be back soon from the forest. But you said you were looking for a wounded elf, correct?
Yes.
I believe that one resides in the house on the easternmost side.
Do we have a wanderer over there? Anything to watch out for?
Not so far as I know. The other Dark Elves who guard the houses might give you some time, but if you say Aragel sent you, I'm sure they'll let you pass just fine. Kind of turns and walks back into the tent itself, disappearing from view. The building in question he had signaled to was this one.
I suggest we grab our horses and make our way over.
Yeah, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern
So you
side.
wrangling around your horses and
Lead them probably rather than ride.
Yes, or lead them, correct.
Yeah.
The horses just stampede through the camp. Kill
I
3
mean,
people.
at a certain point, you all make your way down to the eastern side of this encampment to a house on the farther backside of this hill range. And as you approach the exterior, you see.
Badoop.
Badoop, badoop. As you kind of round the edge of this house on a far arc, you're not super close to the house, but you see standing quietly in front of the house, 3 sullen gray cloaked figures. As you kind of get a little bit closer, you can see just slightly under their cloaks and their hoods. And you see very angular features, and you see black flowing hair hidden under their cowls. As you approach, one of them just kind of looks in your direction. What business do you have? Why are you riding up on us?
We're looking for one who apparently lives here. A wounded elf.
One that has the knowledge of the ancients.
What? He's confused.
The guard kind of looks at you, looks back at the other 2. One of them knocks on the door, and you hear a voice from the inside kind of communicate back and forth.
Can I hear what they're saying?
Does anybody speak Sylvan?
I do not. I speak Abyssal.
Fuck. The one time I don't take Sylvan.
Yeah, I
Would've
speak
been good.
Elvish, so
I speak Elvish, but not Sylvan.
So some of the dialect is similar, Branwen and Gaynor, but it's not exact. You hear words that sound familiar, but you can't quite make out a sentence structure of anything because Sylvan is similar to Elvish, but it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like some sort of back and forth communications. And then the Dusk Elf kind of looks over and kind of gives a solemn nod to the one in front. He looks back, he's like, I don't suppose you're here to cause any trouble now.
Just want to speak to him. Them. That's him.
Just kind of looks at you and like, well, our master has granted you an audience. If we sense any
Any
danger,
hostility?
we will
Aye.
act in kind. He kind of bows out of the way as the one closest to the door kind of kicks open the door.
I respect it.
Who's going into this building here? Front door's
I
over
am.
here.
I'll enter.
I too.
Okay. As they step to the side and allow you entry into the building itself. Irina is also going to walk in with you. Trovik, Osgood, what are y'all doing?
I'd be entering. I follow in. Oh wait. Oh Jesus, my entire game. Haha.
Trovik, are you also entering, my friend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I not moving on your screen?
No, you're not.
Because it keeps going. It keeps going back. Here, hold on. Let me refresh.
I'm going to refresh as well. That way we can just make sure we're on sync.
I was moving it, but it kept snapping back to the same spot.
Oh no, that's not good. Establishing server uplink. I am almost back. I got a fuzzy screen and maybe it'll load properly.
Bruh.
And this is why I'm not refreshing.
Oh, there we go. I got it. We're good.
Well,
DB, your
somebody's
game
got
is
it.
so smooth. Why is it so nice?
There we go. Yeah, no, there we go. It's back. It's back.
I have fucking lag on my.
No, not the wrong. Sorry. Apologies. Okay. So, as you enter this hovel, you notice the interior is somewhat lavish, if a bit plain. There's a stove fireplace combination in the back of it, on the far side of the room. The 3 guards stay outside; they do not enter with you. It's a meager dwelling, but it is. You can tell that some sort of village elder lives here, just based on the general situation in the room. You see a number of wooden statuettes of elven deities along one side of the wall, just like sitting in cubbyholes. A forest depiction tapestry hangs on the opposite wall. And before you, you see a dusk elf, older, jet black hair, but lines of gray and white going through it. And he is sitting in the chair at the table. His hood is pulled back. He is much older, even by elf standards. He's pretty old. He just kind of looks at you all and nods in your direction, welcoming you. Let me see if I have a handout. It's a really bad handout, but we're going to share this anyway.
Oh, look, it's a handout.
He just kind of greets you all.
I'd make it as a joke, but probably isn't appropriate here.
And welcome to our wonderful situation here on the edge of Valaki. Come in, come in. I'm sure there must be a reason for you to be in my dwelling, other than the fact that I said you could be here. What can I do for you? Seemed kind of nervously rubbing his hands together. He's a bit odd.
I glance over at Nim.
Do forgive the sudden intrusion, but we've come here under slightly peculiar circumstances. Madam Eva sent us your way.
Mm-hmm. Curious. Eva would not normally send anyone to this camp. These Vistani in particular.
Well, she didn't send us to the camp, she sent us to you, in particular. Or so it would seem.
He kind of just looks at you all and,
We have our reasons.
and I'm sure you do. He kind of just pauses a moment. He looks at you all. Do you stand with him or against him?
What will you do if we respond?
It will inform me how to respond.
Smirks. Can I roll an insight just to see if I know what she wants me to say?
It's a he, but sure.
He. Yeah. English.
It's hard to discern.
Hmm?
You can't really make out the intention behind the question, save for the fact that
Curiosity.
somebody asking you a question. Yeah.
I look back at the group and I sort of close my eyes and sigh. I'm like, if Ava sent us here, it's probably not that problematic if we say anything. I'm against, but I know not the rest of them.
What were you saying, Gainer?
No, I'm good.
Far be it from me to judge, but I feel like if you're against him, you wouldn't be traveling with people that were in his favor, per se.
Aye.
And if you were, you'd be about as stupid as the one up on the top of the hill.
Sometimes I wonder.
He kind of sits there and pauses for a moment. So you still have not made it clear. You told me who sent you, but you've not told me why.
We seek history.
We were told to find a wounded elf who would part with a treasure and history. Knowledge of an ancient one.
And with this, you see his eyes kind of narrow. And make a perception check, everybody in the room.
Oh, okay. Is it visual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Advantage. 20.
Okay.
Not bad.
So he's not wearing any hood or anything like that. He's just got his cloak kind of pulled down. As you say, an injured elf. He kind of runs one of his hands up through his graying black hair over his right ear. And you all notice where a normal elf's ear would be pointed. This one is seemingly cut off. The top part of the ear is cut off, and you can only see the bottom lobe of his ear.
You
Kind
can
of,
see me wince visibly.
A treasure, you say? Well, he kind of looks at you all slowly, just pondering his next move and what he's going to say. And then he, after a moment of pause, kind of looks around and I may indeed have something you seek. If you are truly aligned against the devil. But I'm sure you've been in this land long enough to know no one gives anything for free.
So we have been reminded today.
I assume you have, as most of my brothers were quickly reminded when they were asked to go and search for that girl.
She's been found, you'll be happy to know.
Oh, that's good. Then we live another day in Barovia. However, as it turns out, I need to make a trip up Mount
Right.
Gekis. There's some business I have to attend to.
Would I know where that is?
Make a history check for me.
Yeah. I haven't even heard of that through like. I guess not, eh? 8, because it's not something related to Fey Fiends or Undead.
Nope. You wouldn't know landmarks and locations in this area more than anything else. You've
Fair.
not really been focusing on the maps of this world.
Yeah.
Kind of looks at you all and just. If you all would like to take a seat, he kind of like makes a look around at all of you and kind of, you almost feel each one of you as if he's looking into your soul as he makes eye contact with each one of you. After a longer pause of just staring at each individual person, he kind of just. Maybe you are indeed trustworthy enough. And he goes and kind of walks over to the small kettle in the fireplace and just begins to make what presumably smells like some sort of herbal tea. He begins to let that boil a little bit more as the smells of that tea brewing kind of fill the room. He just kind of sits back down. It's like, again, if you'd like to sit, I need
will
an
do so.
escort, but I would feel remiss to not tell you why I need an escort. If you would accompany me to do my task, I'd be willing to part with what you seek.
Why do you need an escort? Where are you going? Well, we know where you're going, but why are you going?
There's a temple up in the upper reaches of Mount Gekis.
A holy place.
It's not been holy for a long time, I'm afraid.
Disappointment on his face.
How far is this temple?
A few days at least, up the sheer face of the mountain.
There's sheer face. There's in
The
the
faces of Mount Gekis are sheer.
We were hoping that this would be a quick in and out kind of trip. Do you need to take this trip immediately, or is there time?
I have waited the better part of a century. I'm sure a little while longer would not impose on me any. If you
We-
have other necessities and priorities to do, you're more than welcome to come back. But none of my camp are brave enough to escort me up there, nor do I think any of them would survive the trip. It's perilous on the edge of the mountain.
What makes you
I-
think?
We've been through worse.
I seek something in this temple. I have been having dreams as of late.
You hear Gwen mutter, "Dark dream fulfilled."
He kind of looks over and
Raised eyebrow.
curious. My dreams are of a quite personal nature. My sister seems to have been calling out to me in these dreams.
Hmm.
She seems to be in need of some sort of rescue.
From a place that's fallen into ruin.
And you haven't been there in a century.
I have not seen her in over a century. The temple is not where she rests.
I see.
The castle is where she rests.
Ah.
Strahd's got
Let's see.
He winces at the name. Yes, his castle. You see, my sister, Katrina, was betrothed to Strahd. And when she no longer suited his needs, he disposed of her. He then took his anger out on myself, and he kind of points to his ear, and the remaining of our tribe. I need Nimue to make a perception check for me. Or a insight check, I guess.
Okay.
Constitution
Let's
saving
say an
throw. No. kidding.
Okay.
You've noticed, out of the 5 dark elves that you've seen around this camp, all of them are distinctly male. As Casimir is going to kind of look over and he murdered us. He only left us alive.
Oh. Oh.
But why would he do that?
Because he doomed them in other ways.
This is true.
So what did your sister do that caused such anger?
I don't know exactly why he got tired of her. The fact remains is, she lies in the crypts of Ravenloft. And she's been coming to me in my dreams, asking for assistance, asking to be brought back again, asking to have her soul be saved from that eternal pit that is the crypt. The visions are quite clear. Her location has been almost fully discerned to me, and I know that the temple on the edge of Mount Gekis, I know the powers that govern that temple. They may be able to provide me some way of bringing her back
Can I?
Can you?
My brain is going a million miles an hour right now, and I don't know
Right.
what I'd even ask to roll for this.
Okay. Ask me what you want to ask me, and I'll tell you what to roll.
What would I need to roll to know? If there's a connection between the dark power that brought me back.
That's a good point.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh fuck! Kill us.
Late.
+2. Not bad.
12.
As you sit here,
Well, lean against a wall, but yes.
yeah, you hear. You don't hear. I'm sorry. You think about the words "dark power" and "temple," and you're starting to put together threads, but you're not quite sure if what you're believing is
Is it true?
accurate. You're not sure if the thing that brought you back is related in some way to what he's talking about. Osgood,
Yeah.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Fuck. Yeah, that's a
Oh,
6.
fuck.
In your head, you hear. Someone else who wants my power.
Ah. Another then.
As Casimir continues on,
I'm gonna sort of pause and be like, do you speak of a star?
he kind of looks at you. Just, I don't know anything about a star. I know the stars hardly ever shine in Barovia, but I just know that this temple holds multiple forms of dark power. Before you are allowed to speak, a voice in your head.
Right.
Do not reveal.
Oh, okay. I sort of think back, oh, alright.
Multiple forms.
He kind of looks over. He's like, yes, multiple forms of dark energy. That dark energy can also be harnessed for good, for example. To do the right thing with the wrong powers. It's complicated.
I chuckle slightly.
If you are actually against him, I believe there may be a secret of a way to begin his undoing at this temple as well. Like I said, there are a number of dark forces at work around this building. I believe he got his powers from somewhere. For he was not always immortal.
Vampires rarely are.
Well,
And I imagine a vampire king would need quite a bit of power to become quite so strong.
Or has just lived a very long time.
Suppose.
In those statements, both are probably somewhat true. Again, I would appreciate an escort. I would give you the treasure you seek upon completion of my task. But
I'd be
again, I'm in no rush to go. If you have more pressing matters, feel free. But don't forget about me.
We do have one promise to fulfill before we can go on with others.
He... Okay, he just kind of looks at you all, and it's comforting to meet adventurers who are willing to help out an old man. He just kind of smiles, like half-heartedly, as he kind of looks at the room. He kind of looks back over. He's like, "Oh, and it looks like our tea is done." And he kind of picks up the kettle and pot, looks around the room. Would anyone like some?
Yes, please.
He kind of
I'll nod.
Whole
goes
game.
over to a small cupboard and pulls out a teacup or two. At least one for him and one for Trovik. And he kind of looks over. Anyone else?
I'll nod.
Well,
I'll nod
if,
too.
Okay.
if you
he pulls
want to
out-
stop for tea, I have something I would like to look around outside while you do so.
It's all deadly poison.
He begins to pour the tea for everyone who wanted tea and sets cups in front of people.
I just kind of
I take it.
nod.
Well, if you have something to do, by all means. Then he grabs the cup of tea and begins sipping. He's like, "Right." He looks around at you. He's like, I mean, you're more than welcome to drink. It's not like it's poison or anything.
His
Inside
eyes,
check.
His eyebrow
You
raises.
hear Branwyn chuckle on the way through.
Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Insight check. Roll it.
Damn it.
You're not sure if he's jesting or if he's serious, but he leans in and takes a sip of the tea.
All right,
Takes
fine.
another. As you
I haven't had any tea since I got here, so when
as you all partake and drink the tea, it is a little bitter, but it's strong.
just right.
Strong, bitter tea. Hot tea.
Black, green.
But-
He said it's herbal tea, so green tea.
Yeah, it's more of a green tea.
Stupid time.
Interesting.
It's not an Earl Grey. Branwyn, you're outside. What are you doing outside?
Soon as I'm here and he had herbs, and
Mhm.
I would like to spend the time that the party is sitting in time drinking tea, looking around for herbs. Specific ones, but yes.
Of course. Make a nature check.
Oh, goodness, this is gonna suck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this is gonna suck.
Okay. So, as everybody's having tea, pardon me, I need to do a thing.
Don't tell me you're actually gonna make us make that check.
So, as you all are drinking tea inside, and Casimir is just kind of generally chatting, kind of being a little bit inquisitive about your travels in Barovia and some things like that, while you're just having a conversation. Branwyn has slipped out the front door and begins to look around the general area, off lightly into the forest line and around the hovel itself for any type of herbs and things that you can find.
Mhm.
Specifically,
Hemlock and mitten I'm looking for.
yeah,
And lavender because it could grow there as well.
yeah, true. Okay. So, as you kind of wander a little bit into the forest edge, right about on the edge of the forest, you notice a small patch of more overgrown but also well kept foliage. You notice a number of lavender sprigs and lavender plants literally just grown in this tiny garden area. If you wanted to harvest, I'd say probably about 3 or 4 lavender sprigs out of the whole thing, out of what's actually like fresh, ripe, and ready to go.
Okay.
After that, you kind of move on a little bit deeper into the forest, and you notice a few large plant stems, little tinier leaves, and they seem to be in like a circular pattern right under one of the trees in the wood. The plant is the stem of the plant itself is streaked in red on the lower half of the stem. The top half of the stem that leads into the leafing plants just kind of like turns into a fuller, rich green, and the leaves themselves are almost like oblong shaped. And you would be able to recognize this as stalks of hemlock. However, you don't find any henbane in this area.
Okay.
I'd say you get about 3 or 4 stalks of hemlock out of this plant. Make a survival check with advantage for me. Just to see how effectively you can harvest. Yeah, easily enough. You get about 4 usable bits of hemlock.
Okay.
And that's what you got.
I make my way back.
As you kind of enter back into this hovel, most of the party is finished with their tea, and Casimir is just kind of listening to an engrossing story about your travels that he's asked for. As you kind of walk back in, the rest of the party looks back around at you, and he kind of looks and, well, I do appreciate your time. If you swing back around this way, if you're still alive in these lands after your errand, I would appreciate the assistance, and I would happily give you your treasure upon completion, as I've said before. But I will say, the peaks of Gakis are cold.
That was going to be my next question for you.
The things that reside around the temple are extremely dangerous.
What you
And some of the things that reside in the temple are equally as deadly.
what
So
do you expect?
Creatures of the mountain are fierce.
Hmm.
The monstrosities that live in this realm tend to feed on the darkest parts of this realm. Like I said, it's been a long, long time since I've even been around the temple. And the Morning Lord left the temple before he left the rest of the lands. So
It was a temple to the Morning Lord?
it was a shared temple to the Lord of the Morning and the Mother of Night.
I
Yeah.
look again.
They've both since abandoned that temple.
I look thoughtful, but I don't really say anything.
Gaynor has nothing to say.
kind of looks over and just... Is there anything else? I am feeling a bit comfortable after my cup of tea. Would like to go lay down, if that's alright with you.
I don't think that we have anything else going on. Suppose we should head out?
Yes.
Come on,
Alright.
steps.
The sooner we finish our tasks, the sooner we can complete yours. Good day.
And he kind of stands up and leans a low bow to you. And as the hair kind of falls off of the left side of his head now, just a little bit forward as he bows, you notice that his left ear is also chopped off in the same manner.
I bow in return.
Goddamn F.
Kind of leans back up, flips his hair back, and just kind of wanders over to the bed that's in this hovel. And he calls out in Sylvan to one of the gentlemen outside, who enters and escorts you all to leave, before staying inside with the Dusk Elf himself. You all are back outside in the Vistani camp itself. Your horse is still there, tied up to the side of the building. And as you all exit, you are free to continue on your journey.
It's time for us to make our way to the Wizard of Wines.
Yeah,
Indeed.
let's get some wine.
I'm still a terrific source. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Wizard of Wines. I can't
So,
help but
and-
feel like this is going to be much more difficult than we expected to be.
Everything.
Indeed.
I mean, I suppose, welcome to Barovia, look at the fucking weather.
I suppose we just waste time complaining about it then.
Aye, exactly.
That's BOA.
As you all ride off from the Vistani camp, back through the little wooded cut, before you come back out to see the actual city of Valaki to your east, and you take the western path back when you get to the main road that leads further and further out of Valaki. You ride for an hour and a half or so, keeping a good pace, keeping a steady pace. And you eventually come to a crossroads. And my apologies as I do a thing. You stop.
So,
You do a thing.
oh no. Oh god.
Oh.
So, Nimue, you seem curious about my home.
Who's Nimue?
Sorry, right. What the fuck ever your name is. Branwyn.
Wow.
Nice. Nice.
Nimue was the cousin's sister, it's fine. Branwyn. You were curious about Blusterport, yes?
This
The
is-
town that I come from.
Well, I was curious that there were vampires in your world.
Aye. Well, how do I explain this? Vampires in my world. We live on a world entirely inhabited by water. There is no land. Fighting over land mass is difficult, constantly. We're always getting into land grabs, but the land disappears within months due to tectonic shifts and other things. So monsters. Oh, sorry. Should I? Yep. Monsters and humans have learned to cooperate for the most part. The only things that are really dangerous are goblins, kobolds, dragons, that kind of thing. He nods once. I can tell you more later. It's probably fine.
Assume the conversation continues as we ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, right?
Mhm. Okay.
Trying to keep it short, but
As Osgood is explaining more and more of his world to Branwyn as you all ride, I need a writing order from the group.
I'd probably be dead middle.
Mm-hmm. I would
They
assume
don't fall
Brennan
over.
and Irina would be somewhat near that.
And I would
based on
probably be
conversation.
like behind Irina or behind Osgood, whoever's like.
Irina's still sharing a horse with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then
I'll be towards the front.
Alright, sorry, I gotta there we go. Boop, boop. Okay, so I got a Kelma. I have a Gaynor, I have a Branwyn, and Osgood, and Irina,
Okay.
and a Trovik.
He.
Oh no.
Oh,
And
what?
Trovik is
What happened to me?
small all the time.
You exploded.
You were a very small token boy. You were like half the size of the rest of the tokens. It was weird.
What? How?
Because I had to
shrinks
save your
incredibly.
thing. Yeah.
It's the opposite of giant strength, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's just mini
Mouse
travel.
dexterity.
You travel faster as a small. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a halfling minotaur.
Cat's
Oh,
grace,
the
except not.
best. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, let's do this because this is always fun, right?
Oh no.
That sounds ominous.
Who are you going to kill?
Every one of you.
Beautiful. I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So, as you all make your way down the road, you cross another stone bridge that crosses a small river. You continue on. The party kind of chatting back and forth about things. Kelma in the lead, kind of guiding you all down this main road. The road comes to a X sort of intersection. It branches northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. You all are coming from the northeast as you approach this intersection. You see a signpost that is somewhat snapped off, and I will put you all on the page, because page and things. You see a signpost in the center of the road. Here you go, for map reference. Now you're all here.
Whoa.
As you all kind of approach, you see a signpost in the middle of the road that has two boards hanging off of that face and point directions. The signpost, as you all get slightly closer, it's not hard to read at all. It's written in very large, blocky letters. It reads Lake Baratok, and it points northwest. And then the branch that points toward the direction you're coming in reads Vallaki and Barovia. However, you notice that this signpost has been snapped off about halfway atop above the post that reads Lake Baratok. Come on, make a perception check for me.
20.
Nice.
As you all approach, getting to the intersection, and Kelma in the front on his horse kind of looks around, you see this broken pole, and almost immediately you think to yourself, there's more to this sign than there was. As you kind of look off into the shrubbery and the bushes around the area, you see a broken signpost, top half, sitting over in the bush over here.
I point to the sign in the bush. Not too sure why that's there, but you better be on guard.
I draw my revolver and cock it.
I go over to the sign post and I try to go pick it up.
Okay. Easily enough you can pick up. It's a little bit hefty and weight-wise. It's just heavy oaken wood, but it reads on the two panels. One of them reads Kresk, and the other reads Solenka Pass.
I put the signpost kind of by the actual regular signpost on the floor, pointing in the most logical direction.
Okay, so you kind of walk over and you notice that the break is almost exactly matched up. You can kind of like jerry rig it and organize it where it would logically make sense pointing based on the framework and etc.
Yeah.
And it points.
Pull out a tub of glue.
We don't need to glue it.
I apologize. It one of the boards says Kresk and Selenka Pass. The other board reads the word Berez. And it points Kresk and Selenka Pass to the southwest. Now that you can clearly see the entire sign, it points Lake Baratok to the northwest, Valaki and Barovia to the northeast, and Berez to the southwest or southeast.
Do I know what Berez is?
Make a history check.
Yeah. I don't actually, out of character, I don't know if I've ever even heard of that place. Yeah, no, I wouldn't know either.
No, you wouldn't know.
He looks kind of confused. Never heard of Berez before. Sounds like a village of some kind, perhaps.
Kalma shrugs and goes, I don't know. Where are we going?
It's a good point.
Towards Kresk. I say, with a map in hand.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Press.
All
I'm
right.
gonna make a mental note of Berez. It's like,
Okay. So, as you all continue towards Kresk, and Bramwin, as you look at your map, oh no, I'm moving the whole signpost. Can't do that. Signpost, you stay where you are.
the signpost starts moving. It's a mimic.
Everything's a mimic.
God damn it! Start fight.
As you all continue down the road towards the point that says Kresk, Selenka Pass, and Bramwin, as you're kind of looking at your map, you see this crossroads marked on your map.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first split in the road that points into 4 directions.
Mm-hmm.
The dotted line road that seems to go down to the south seems to be the road that leads toward Berez. The top dotted line road seems to be the dirt path breaking off northwest to the Lake Baratok. And you all continue winding down the path through the forest and the mountains on the way to the windy road that would lead to the Wizard of Wines, Kresk, and the Selenka Pass. All of you continue on for another hour or so at a brisk pace. Let me look at a map real quick so I'm not BSing you on a map.
You go
Maps,
24 miles.
1,000 miles
Jesus.
and 1,000 more to fall down at a door.
I don't have any girl to fall down at their door though.
You have an Irina, but it's okay.
But
Continuing on.
Irina's with us.
Semantics, man. Damn it. This road continues to wind on and through the tree line, the pathway. You've got forest on both sides of you. Make a perception check, Kelma, since you're in the front. 19. Okay. You kind of, at this point, you're kind of more trained to kind of look up in the tree line and in the tree area. While the
Yeah.
trees are about 5-10 feet off the path, you understand that a lot of flying creatures seem to make their home tediously around your party.
Yeah.
As you look up into the tree line, you see a small raven that's landed and is just kind of keeping an eye on you all, and it kind of flutters behind you all as you continue forward down the path, and just jumps tree to tree, kind of keeps with you all for a while, and then after a time, it kind of flies back off.
I point to the raven, like, being watched again.
See, is it our friends or is it Mr. Strahd.
Probably friends.
Seeing how
Could
it's
be
really
our friends.
friends.
And as you all continue on a little further and further down the path, winding through the trees and the road, a mist and a heavier fog seems to come off of the mountain to the south, and it begins to roll in across the land.
Oh god.
Huh.
You all continue, visibility getting a little bit harder in front of you now,
Oh no.
and just in front of you in the distance, you see what appear to be small shapes of structures of some sort. You see what appear to be the shadows and the outlines of buildings. As you all begin to approach, continuing on this dirt road, you all hear the clash of steel on steel.
Oh.
You hear the sounds of combat from in front of
Huh.
you in the distance. The fog getting thicker and thicker, and now enveloping the road that you were on, in front of you, behind you, and around you. You hear the cries of one army seeming to clash and batter against another army. You hear the
Have
roars of war.
Are we out of Barovia? I mutter to myself, almost like incredulously.
I just kind of, Helma just starts kind of waving everybody to kind of get closer together.
Yeah, I'm gonna get close.
Yeah.
Drop my pistol.
Alright. As you all continue to move forward, the sounds of battle begin to surround you as you're walking through this fog, and you begin to get closer to one of the edges of the buildings that seems to now come up from the shadow of the fog, and you see what appears to be a ruined structure of sorts, like a half-dilapidated building on the right-hand side of the road. You see, in the mist, in the fog in front of you, shapes begin to form. You see soldiers fighting with other soldiers. They just appear 5 feet from you, 10 feet from you, in between a group of your horses. Just, you see misty forms of warriors clashing in battle,
Can I
with
cast?
steel ringing against shields. Detect magic?
Mm,
Go for it.
Do I sense anything?
You do not detect any forms of magic.
Interesting.
I look fucking terrified.
As you all group closer and closer together, continuing through this village,
Keeping my horse on a really tight rein.
you see now more and more buildings begin to emit out of the fog. And you see sorry, wow, shit and stuff.
Oh,
You see
well, okay, I'm not gonna go over there.
You saw what I saw.
soldiers now becoming more clear, and you can see the different armor they're wearing in the fog itself. And they're just images in the fog, but you hear the clash of steel on steel. You can hear the stab and the sound of a blade piercing the skin, drawing blood, the screams and agonizing pain of warriors falling on the battlefield. It's all around you. It's everywhere. As you take a moment to pause, still advancing forward, one of the soldiers kind of falls backwards into where Kelma's horse is, and Kelma riding the horse, the soldier almost seems to fall through the horse, and as soon as the body of the soldier hits the horse, it vanishes into mist, just kind of breaks apart and falls back into the mist that's surrounding this land itself.
What is this place?
A battlefield of a kind, I imagine.
It might be similar. Stuck fighting.
Aye.
You hear the clash back and forth, more and more. Trovik, I need you to make a perception check for me.
I'm gonna swap my gun for my sword.
There's my mouse on the sword.
Heh?
Oh shit!
Nice.
And I need you
Whoa.
to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh.
Oh damn!
Oh my goodness.
Trovik is always MVP.
Fair enough. Everybody else, you see these soldiers. Some have a shield of a platinum dragon on them, and the others seem to have a mark and a standard of a outstretched raven with its head turned to the side. Trovik, you see these figures, these creatures, these soldiers clashing in this battle. But amid all of that, you see the brand and the mark of the armies of Daggerford. You see them clashing against soldiers with the brand and the armor and the mark of the Green Maw. And as you all approach, you hear a voice ring out to you. Hi! It's Trovik, everyone! He's come to assist us!
Oh.
We all hear
None
that.
of you hear that except
None
for
of-
Trovik.
Oh.
You look at it, and in your head, you realize this isn't real. But you see in front of you, on the battlefield, in the midst of all these soldiers, your lifelong friend, now deceased, Revo, leading these soldiers in a forever war against other soldiers in the mist. As he calls out to you to come and join him on the battlefield. That's where we're going to end this session.
Oh.
Ah,
Boys.
Trovik about to get a story arc.
Yeah. We about to
Yeah.
get some fucking plot.
Yes, plot.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just to wrap everything up, guys, I want to thank every single one of you guys for the support. Thanks, guys, for coming on in, hanging on out, and most importantly, thanks for sharing the stream and all that great stuff. Again, if you ever miss a session, you could catch the recorded VOD over at the One Shot Tavern. There's a link in the chat room right now. We truly appreciate your support, and we'll be back on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern to continue these misadventures, and we'll get to see
Hey.
what's going on. And hey, Chill Chief, thank you
Oh.
so much.
Thank you for the sub.
I tried. It was random give.
Yep. And it is so all right, guys, you guys have a great night. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we sign out?
I think that's all I had. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about like my mic quality last stream. I've been feeling a little bit bad about it. I have
You'll be
purchased a new mic cable, and I probably will not have that problem again. Just putting it out there. Like you probably won't have that trouble again.
And also thank you again, Troll Chief, for the tier 1 sub. To Carnate, I can't pronounce the word.
CJ, hi.
Arcanum.
Yes.
Carney Arcadum. Thank you.
Oh.
For that as well. So, all
I'll
right.
give one again too, probably.
Awesome. But remember, guys, if you really want to help the stream out, tell people about the stream. Tell them to watch the VODs. help us grow what we're trying to do here. That means a lot to every single one as we have fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy our event. But other than that, and hey, thank you CJ for gifting a tier 1 sub to Over. Over gets a tier 1 sub.
Hey.
Back to the entire party again.
Yay.
Not intentional, guys, I swear.
You know?
Trying to give to other people.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness, that's too funny.
20, man.
But no, for honestly, thank you all so much for everything you do to come out to support us. We truly appreciate it. We wouldn't be anything without the people who come and watch us and hang out with us. So.
All right, guys, and that'll be it for session 15. Again, session 16 will be this Sunday at 3 p.m. And you can watch the VOD on the One Shot Tavern this Wednesday. And other than that, we'll see you next time. Strahd. Bye, everybody.
Later.